hello, hello. Testing. Can hear? We can hear you? I had to like disconnect from my cloud lifter thingy. So now I'm probably really low. Let me turn my gain up. I'll just do it the old-fashioned way, I guess. Hello? Is that any better? Is that better at all? I had to like unplug my cloud lifter. It's so weird. It's gonna be a little quiet because I need my cloud lifter and I don't have it now. I don't know why that happened. Scuff. Scuff. Scuff, scuff, scuff. Hey, at least you can hear me. I'll turn it up a tiny bit more. Maybe that'll help. I'll have to figure that out later. I even tested my... Guys, I tested my audio before I went live. I literally tested my audio because I was having audio issues for a second. And so I tested my audio before I went live to make sure I could hear it. Like I did a recording in Streamlabs so that I make sure I could hear myself. I was like, man, what the heck? But anyways, that's fine. It's fine, chat. Everything's fine. We're all fine. I'm just a little... You know what I mean? Yeah, technology is like that. It probably the program needed to update or change your settings. Yeah, I don't know. It started working the moment I pressed test audio. Not really sure what that means, but... Hey, yo! Oh, wait. I need to turn that off, though, so I can just do it the other way. First of all, hi. I had a whole little bit going, But can I start my bit over? Because that kind of ruined my bit. I had like a whole bit. It was like, okay, let's pretend like I'm muted still and like stream hasn't started. Okay, we're starting over in 3, 2, 1. And I unmuted and I was like, clearing my throat. Clearing my throat like I'm Rev. Welcome in, guys. And then I was like, no, actually, I'm better than Rev because I'm gonna show my face sooner. That was my whole joke, and you didn't even get to hear my joke. Like, it's not as good now. Like, it was better earlier. It was more like, I don't know. It's never as good the second time. You have to, like, it's like if you tell a joke, and then you have to like explain the joke. It's like now the joke's not funny, you know. It's a shame. We'll try it again next time. I hope everyone is having a good Saturday. I'm having a pretty good day so far. How's my toe? Thank you. Oh my gosh. For those of you who follow my my alt Twitter, I stubbed my toe yesterday so hard. Chat. Like when I tell you I thought I possibly broke my toe. And you know, of course it was me trying to do something good. Oh, you know, I'm always just trying to be a good person. I was literally, like, going into Rev's office area to, like, clean up anything, which there wasn't even anything to clean up. But I was, like, checking for, like, bottles or anything. To, like, take some trash, to the trash can. And I was walking in, and all of a sudden we have this, like, ottoman on the floor. And my pinky toe hit the ottoman so hard, I literally felt like I was gonna pass out for a second. I had to sit down and like breathe through the pain, and I was like, ooh. And then I was like so scared. I was like, please don't tell me that I just broke my toe. I was like, the last thing I need right now is to break my toe, especially like your pinky toe. Like, I feel like that's so stupid. Like, I know people break it, And it hurts, obviously. I mean, it hurt for me. And, like, to answer your question, how is it? It's better today. It definitely... It's definitely not 100% today. I mean, it's a lot better. Like, it's almost 100% today. Yesterday, it was, like, buzzing for hours after. It was so weird. It was, like... Which, granted, I probably should have immediately gotten off of my feet and, like... It was, like... elevate ice, like the whole rice method or whatever. I should have did that right away, but I didn't because I was cleaning and I had things I still wanted to get done, and so I was like, I just won't put pressure on it. So I was kind of like walking on my foot without like trying to put pressure on like the side of my foot. So I was trying to get all the stuff done, and then I had to shower after because I don't know about you guys, but like whenever I deep clean my house, because I was like deep cleaning. When I deep clean, I have to shower after because I just feel gross. Like, I did dishes, I, you know, cleaned the floors, I just did all the things, and then I was like, I feel gross after, and I want to shower. So then I had to shower, and so basically I was on my feet for another, like, 2 hours probably, which was probably not the smartest decision. So then my toe was, like, buzzing for, like... a while. And I finally, like 2 hours later, I finally like propped it up and put like a little ice pack thingy on it, and it definitely helped numb it, but it was still buzzing throughout the night. It was not good. And then also I took a bath last night because I was like, oh, I'll relax in like a warm bath. The warm bath like triggered my toe. Like, I don't know, I guess it was something about the heat of the bath. Like, it did not feel good, it felt bad. Which they say to ice it, you know? I mean, I guess, obviously, like, a warm bath is the opposite of ice. But, like, it was like, I don't know, it felt so weird. I was like, I don't like this. But it's fine now. That's my toe saga. I'm okay. It's not broken. And, of course, I'm, like, Googling, like, toe feels like it's buzzing 2 hours after I stubbed it. And then it's like Google AI, and I'm like talking to Google AI, and Google AI is like, does it look disfigured? Is it discolored? And I'm like talking to Google AI, no, it looks normal, maybe a little red, I'm just anxious. I'm like, Google AI, please console me. ChatGPT is better. Sometimes I would do ChatGPT, but when I'm just like in a hurry, I'll just like Google it and Google AI will talk to me, and I'm just like, and of course Google AI is gonna be like, yeah, it could be inflammation or it could be death. And it's like, it's like, call your health provider or whatever immediately if you get X, Y, Z. And I'm just like, bro, don't do this to me right now. Do not do this to me right now. This is too much. If you put your symptoms into OMD, it probably would have told you had cancer. Yeah, it would have been like, they're gonna have to cut the toe off. Oh gosh, but thank you. Wait, what the heck? Why is it so low? Thank you guys for the membership. Z-Man with the membership. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. There's a couple people that like resubbed at the beginning of stream, but like I don't have it here. But I can read it out loud. It's just, it's gone in my chat, unfortunately. And for some reason, the Stream Ninja doesn't show all memberships, like when it's like a re-membership. I don't know why, but anyways. Big Buddhist, thank you so much for the 3 months. And Rim New York, thank you for the 18 months. I appreciate that. And Phantom with the 5 gifted subs. Very based. Thank you so much. 07's in the chat. I feel like Rev. No, it hurt so bad though, guys. Like, I'm really not a drama queen. Maybe I'm a little bit of a drama queen, but I feel like it's warranted. I'm only a drama queen when something like deserves that level. You know what I mean? Like, it deserves that. So, yeah. Basically, yeah. And Luke with the 5 gifted as well. Thank you so much. 07's in the chat once again, of course. Oh, I never did a goal. See, this is why Rev is better than me. I should have did a goal. I'll do a goal. I'll do one now. I started it late. Oopsies. Oopsies. No, I'm not streaming on Twitch right now. I'm not multi-streaming because my internet, every time I try to do that, it wants to die, basically. And I don't understand why it's like that, but it is, unfortunately. Soul Swirl with the 5. 2 of my favorite VTubers are streaming today. It is a good day. It is a good day indeed. God is good. Let's go. Thank you so much for the 5. I'm hoping I'm one of the favorites. And I know Rev is streaming later. Obviously, because it is Saturday, so he'll have his Saturday showdown, which will be fun. And I'm sure I'll be in there with everybody. I don't know who is against who this week. I'm not sure. I don't know how people can do it. It seems overwhelming to have multiple chats. When you have, there are ways you can like kind of connect your chats to where like the streamer can see them both like at the same time, if that makes sense. Like where you're just looking at one chat, but it's both chats, if that makes sense. I don't know exactly how to do that. I know there is a way to do that, but either way, I was multi-streaming for a while, and honestly, I would still multi-stream if it wasn't for the fact that my streams were all like dying when I would multi-stream. Like every time I would multi-stream, my stream would crash. And then I was like, let me try to not multi-stream and see what happens, and my stream didn't crash. And so I just never went back. Because it was, I don't know, it's very, it's very anxiety inducing to stream knowing that you're going to have streaming problems. Like, at least for me, like, because almost every time I would go live, like, it would make me not want to go live because I'd be like, I just know that my stream's gonna die. And it was like I was just waiting for it to happen, you know what I mean? Like, I was just like, it's a matter of if, not when. Or a matter of when, not if. And, it was very stressful, so I'd rather just, plus honestly, I mean, I do want to stream on Twitch every now and then. I did a Twitch stream a couple weeks ago, for like a chill little short stream, but I prefer streaming on YouTube overall anyways, so it all works out. Z-Man with the 5. Hello, Strawb. You done goof now. Now there's no way I won't be able to dump a bunch of money on both Rev and you. Well, it's very appreciated. We're going to be watching a couple videos and reacting to them today. And just chatting, hanging out. It's Saturday. Rev is working right now. He's working on his videos. Apparently, I'm featured in one of his videos. I always usually ask him, like, he'll take a break around lunchtime and we'll, like, hang out. And I'm like, so what are you talking about today? And he was, like, he mentioned, like, he was like, oh, this person, blah, blah, is talking about me. And he was like, and you. And I was like, me? What did I do? And apparently, I don't even know, like, who the person is. I'll watch his video and find out. I don't know if his video is live yet. It'll probably go live at, like, 3 or something. But he was like, yeah, they said, like, something about me having skeleton, because they were talking about like Rev and how like he's like bad or something apparently, and they were like, and his girlfriend has skeletons in her closet, but she's even worse now or something. And people were like, wait, if there are skeletons in her closet, but like how is she worse now? And what are the skeletons? And they were like, just trust me. I was like, what? And also he was like, that's not my girlfriend, that's my wife. I was like, yeah. Based. I'm not your girlfriend, I'm your wife. Bro, we are married. I feel like it's so apparent too. And sometimes I'm like, are they doing it on purpose just to try and mess? Which, like, whatever. But it's like, how do you not know? I know, I'm like, what skeletons? I mean, if they're just talking about the fact that, like, I used to be, like, I don't know, I guess more degenerate and, like, not a Christian or something, like, is that what they mean? Like, I've never, but I feel like skeletons are things that you hide. I don't hide nothing. I am very open. I am incredibly open. You know what I mean? I'm like, I haven't hidden anything, honestly, so I'm kind of an open book. I'm a little too open, to be honest. Which is why I said I had been working on not being so open. Do you use a service to multi-stream? Like Restream or Streamlabs Ultra? If the issue is your internet, then that would solve it. Yeah, Geminex, I used Streamlabs Ultra. That's what I was using. Hi, by the way. I was using Streamlabs Ultra, and it was working for a while. But then it didn't work anymore. And that's whenever I kept having, my streams just kept dying. Like, in the middle of my streams, they would just die. So, I don't know. Strawb hides her Valorant addiction. I haven't really been playing Valorant, like, at all. I don't have a Valorant addiction, actually. The only times I've played Valorant is when I've streamed it. And how often have you seen me stream Valorant? Don't get me wrong, I enjoy it. Like, Valorant's fun. I feel like it would be a lot more fun if I had people to play with. I don't have friends. I have Rima. I don't think Rima plays Valorant. Rima's like the only person that I talk to. Other than like Rev, obviously. Or like I'll join my Discord and like talk in my Discord sometimes, you know, but that's about it. Soul Swirl with the 5. Maybe you are one of the faves. Smiles are looking away. I'll take it. Thank you. Thank you. And Gabe, thank you for the membership as well. Let's freaking go. Welcome to the little strawbs. The little strawbs. They're my strawbies. What, my southern accent came out of nowhere. I had biscuits and gravy this morning and it kicked it in for me. I had some biscuits and some gravy. And now I'm a true southern belle. Luke with the 10. Don't have a joke today, but spent my lunch break yesterday helping a neighbor evict a bat from her kitchen. In honor of Rev, I released it into the wild to be free. Lizard! He has my lizard button. He has both of them. I left them in his room. Otherwise I go, lizard! Lizard! If you know, you know. Hey, came here because of a stressful day. Love your soothing voice. Thanks for being chill and cozy. Oh, you're welcome. I'm sorry I've had a stressful day. I hope your day gets better. Hold on, I'm gonna drink some water. I'm like so thirsty. No, unironically though, my southern accent comes out the most when I'm with my family or like anyone else who's southern. Like if I hang out with somebody who has a really southern accent, it just comes out. Or like anytime I come home from hanging out with my mom, Rev's just like, I can tell you've been with your mother. Because I don't actually have like, I don't feel, it's not actually like this or anything. Like, it's not like it's that bad. But like, I don't even know how to like do it. Like, I can just, I'm trying to like put it on. I guess kind of like this. Like if I came home from hanging out with my mom, I might sound kind of like this. And he'd be like, I can tell you've been with your mama. But I reel it back. But normally though, I don't sound I don't feel like I sound super like southern all the time. There are definitely certain things though that I say that that sound more southern, or like phrases that I use that Rev will be like, that's not a thing. Like he still makes fun of me for saying I'm gonna put it up. Cause like after dinner I'll be like, I've talked about this like a million times, but like after dinner I'll be like, okay, I'm gonna go put the food up. And he's like, put it up? You mean put it away? And I'm like, I'm gonna put it up. Like, that's not weird. Like, why do people think it's weird to say I'm gonna put it up? I'm gonna put it up. Like, he's like, up where? Like, up. I'm gonna put it away. Just, I don't know. That doesn't sound as, it doesn't sound as accurate to me. Strawb hiding her southern accent. Skeleton number 2 found. I don't hide that I'm southern though. It's not even really hiding it. It's like, I think, well, I've talked about this before, but like I purposefully suppressed my accent when I was younger because I was like always chronically online, and when I was a kid and I would go on like Omegle and stuff, I would get made fun of by people for being so Southern. And, you know, people would be like, oh, heck, whatever. And so now it's like, I don't know. I trained myself to try and not have one when I was younger, and then it kind of just like, it kind of changed my voice a little, but then it definitely comes out more around certain people. I don't know. There's like some kind of psychology around that though. There's definitely psychology around like the people you're around, like like their accents and stuff like kind of rub off on you a little bit. Wait, people think that's weird? Some people think it's weird to say like put it up. Like I'm gonna go put this food up. That's weird, apparently. Apparently, it's not weird to me. People also think it's weird that I use paper plates. I swear, every time, you know, I'm so like hyper aware of it whenever I post a photo on like my Twitter or something of my dinner. This is embarrassing to admit, but there have literally been times where I specifically reached for a regular plate because I knew I was gonna take a photo of it and post it on Twitter, and I was like, at least now no one's gonna like judge me for having a paper plate. And like, I guarantee you there are like multiple times where like I would have just used a paper plate if I wasn't taking a photo of it. But then sometimes I'm just like, I don't care. And I'm like, I don't really care. But it's like every time I take a photo of my food and it's on a paper plate, someone has to comment about it and be like, why do you have a paper plate? What's up with the paper plates? I'm like, is it so weird to use paper plates? Is it that weird? Like, growing up, that's all my family used. Like, we did not have... First of all, my family didn't have, like, nice, like, sets of dishes either. Like, that wasn't something... Like, my family was not... I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, we didn't have a lot of money. I mean, we weren't, like, destitute. We had what we needed. We also had, like, food stamps and stuff. But, like, we had what we needed. Like, I never went hungry type thing. But, like... we weren't rolling in money, you know what I mean? Like, we didn't have, like, fancy dinner plates and, you know, use this cutlery or whatever. Like, we used paper plates. My grandparents specifically would buy styrofoam plates, which I don't like styrofoam plates. Something about the texture of styrofoam plates just bothers me. And, like, plastic cups and plastic forks and knives and spoons. Like, that's what we used. And like I said earlier on Twitter, I was like, my grandparents would, like, it depended on what they ate, obviously, but, like, let's say we had, like, a sandwich and some chips for lunch, and it was just, like, a regular, like, I don't know, just, like, a sandwich and some chips. They would, like, wipe the plate off and save it for later. Rinse their, like, you know, clean their, I don't know, plastic spoon and save it for later. That's just, like, what my family did. Like, I don't know how to tell you that's what they did. That's just what they did. Like, to me, that was not, you know, weird. I know some people might think that's weird. It wasn't weird in my house. But, like, I don't know. And they didn't buy, like, the fancy... Like, in my opinion, I buy, like, nice paper plates. Like, the Dixie ones that are, like, more sturdy. Because I hate it whenever plates fall apart. My family didn't buy Dixie paper plates, okay? I'm bougie. I'm honestly bougie. My family bought, like, dollar store, the cheapest, because that's what they could afford, which is fine. But, like, fall apart, you'd use, like, at least two, like, you know, stack them together. Because, they just fall apart, depending on what you had, but... Anyways, I just always know, someone's gonna say something about my paper plates. Bougie paper plates is crazy. No, it's not. Paper plates can be expensive. Like, I'm not gonna lie, because I saw someone say too, like, we were too poor growing up for paper plates. Which, like, I guess I could see that. But I feel like we were also, like, broke, but that was just something we did. But, like, it wasn't, like, nice paper plates. Like, I do feel like the ones that I buy are a little expensive. So I get that. But... Southern girl likes Dixie. What did she mean by this? You know what I'm talking about. The brand. like Dixie paper plates and paper bowl. Yeah, I buy paper bowls too. I will also use the Walmart brand. The Walmart brand's good too, though. Like they're pretty like sturdy as well. Y'all, I use paper. Now I'm starting to sound southern. Y'all, I use paper plates. I use paper bowls. We buy plastic. We buy plastic cutlery. We save it from takeout. I have like a bunch of plastic cutlery like in little plastic bags that we save from. I don't throw that away. I use it even if I like. I don't know, even if like today I made myself a sandwich for lunch and I didn't have any plastic knives, so I used a plastic fork to get the mayonnaise out, and I was like, that's fine, it's good enough. I didn't want to dirty a knife. So listen, this is who I am, okay? Take it or leave it. Y'all feels what's lacking in English. Second person plural. Y'all is, I feel like Rev, I don't think Rev ever said it before he met me, and now he says it. But he's not like as country as I am, obviously. Like, he's not as southern as I am. Although I have rubbed off on him for sure. And now he listens to like country music on his own. Just saying. I have good taste. I never go to Sam's, actually. My Nana likes Sam's. Soul Swirl with the 5. We used paper, styrofoam, and regular dishes. Insert Miley Cyrus, best of both worlds. Also, it saves times and new dishes. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, even now, like, I still use regular dishes. Like, I use regular, like, plates and bowls and stuff, too. I'll get, like... I'll get fancy. I'm like, baby, tonight... I'm like, especially if I make, like, a nice meal. Like, a lot of times if I make a nice meal, I'm like, this is too good to go on a paper plate. I'm like, we're pulling out the fine china. And by fine china, I mean, like, they were from Pottery Barn, so they're nice plates. We got from, like, our wedding registry. Or whatever, from, like, when we got married. But I'm like, yeah, we're using the nice plates tonight. This is too nice for... the paper, but then a lot of times I'm just like, paper plates, I don't care. Y'all should be a war crime to be spoken and even worse written. What's wrong with y'all? Ceramic? I think so. They break easy. I have to be real careful with them. Oh my god, I feel like my southern accent's coming out right now. I gotta be real careful with them. I gotta be real careful with them. The straw pulls out the nice plate. It's just for Rub to drown the meal in sweet and sour sauce. Guys, he doesn't use sweet and sour sauce that much. Like, it's a shame that that's, like, the narrative now, because he really uses hot sauce more than anything. I know that's, like, what everyone thinks. Everyone thinks he puts sweet and sour sauce on everything. He usually puts, which, don't get me wrong, I was talking about this on his stream the other day, because it annoys me, because we sit down for dinner, and I'm, like, excited to eat my food, and all of a sudden... there is just this smell. And it's like... what does he... is it Texas Pete? I don't know what hot sauce it is that he uses, but it smells so strong, and it's right... like, he's right beside me when we eat, and it's, like, up in my nose, and it's, like, all I can smell. And it's, like, I'm not eating it, but... it feels like I am because I can smell it, and I'm just like, I just want to have my normal food. He said it was, whatever he said then it's true. Frank's Red Hot. Whatever kind it is, I don't really pay attention because I don't have it. He does like barbecue sauce. He gets like if he goes out, like if we get like takeout, he'll get barbecue. Like if we get like chicken nuggets or... like, if we went to, like, McDonald's, and he got, like, nuggets or fries or something, he would get, like, barbecue sauce. First time viewer, hello, welcome. We're talking about random stuff. I only have one type of every plate and cutlery, aside from side plates. I have 2 of them. I have loads of mugs. Oh my gosh, we have so many mugs. I used to buy them, and then, like, people would give them to you as gifts and stuff, like, Christmas or your birthday. Like, I feel like I got them a bunch, but now I have so many mugs, like, I cannot, like, if I ever go to, like, a store, like, we'll go to like TJ Maxx or something. If you guys know what TJ Maxx is, it's like a discount store that has a bunch of different stuff in it. And they always have like a bunch of super cute mugs, especially like if it's a holiday. They're always gonna have super cute like themed holiday mugs. And I can't. Do they have stuff written on them? Yeah, I mean some of them do. Or some of them are like I have like Snoopy. I have like Snoopy Valentine's Day, and then I have like some Halloween mugs, and then I have a bunch of Christmas mugs, and then I have a bunch of different mugs. But I got rid of a bunch of them a while ago because I just had so many. But even now I have so many mugs, and I'm gonna be honest, I don't use them. You know when I use my mugs? Christmas time to make hot chocolate. So that's really the only time that I feel like I use mugs throughout the year, because I'm not a hot tea drinker. And I mean, I guess I could have my cold beverages in a mug, but then that's gonna dirty up a dish. I don't want to wash it. So I just drink my water either in my like Stanley cup or out of a bottle, or I crack open like a Diet Coke. I drink it out of the can. So do I have a strawb caffeine deprived mug? Of course I do. Of course I have it. Hello. Sorry for going back on it, but as a girl and a Valorant player, what is the appeal of the game to you? I mean, I think it's just fun to play when I do play. It's fun when you make kills, and like it can get kind of intense, and that's fun. Although it's not fun whenever you suck, which I kind of do, but it's, yeah, I suck less when I play more, but then I don't play more, so then I just kind of suck. But I think it would also be more fun if, like, if I had more friends to play with, I think it'd be more fun. Because I feel like it's fun to like be able to talk to people, but also I get nervous talking to like strangers on Valorant, because like, I don't know, you never know what someone's gonna say to you. They're gonna say something like weird or out of pocket or like creepy. The last time I like had a full-on conversation with someone on Valorant, he ended up being a total creep, and I was just like, well, and like I told him, like I was like, oh yeah, I'm married. They don't care. They don't care. I was just like, okay, I can't. Which of course not everyone's like that, but many people are, and it's just like, and then you're stuck in a game with that person if you've been talking. I mean, you can always mute, but then it's awkward. It's just awkward. Is there a strawb Valorant montage? No, but there's clips, and there's also TikTok where I got a 6-kill ace, but the other team was garbage, to be fair. It was like bots, basically. But then everyone in my comments on TikTok was bullying me. It was a couple years ago. But I'm like, bro, I got a 6-kill ace, okay? Like why are we attacking me? Why are we attacking me right now? I feel so offended. They told me I was like Dirt 3 or something, and I was like, well, joke's on you. I don't play comp. But also fair. But is that the chibi strawb one? I think I am a chibi in that one. Maybe. I can't remember. I think it's one of my pinned on TikTok, but I haven't posted on TikTok in a million years. Hi Will, hi guys. I know it's been a hot minute. It has been a hot minute. Just curious why out of every first-person shooter, why is Valorant and Overwatch the main ones girls like? Well, I can say, like, for me, I feel like Valorant is, like, aesthetically appealing. Like, I don't know. Also, I feel like it's, not that it's simple. It's definitely not a simple game, but, like, compared to some other shooter games that I've tried, like, when I did play Marvel Rivals, it felt a lot more complicated, and there was like just a lot more going on. I feel like Valorant felt more straightforward. But I don't know. I mean, I don't know. It's really the only one I ever like actually played very much, to be honest. what are all the figures in the cabinet? These are actually based on figures I have in real life. Almost all of them, especially all the full-sized figures that you see behind me, they're based on figures I have in real life. I sent photos of them to the artist that did my background. They're mostly Miku and Rim. Yep. Miku and Rim. That's pretty much what I have. I have some other ones too, but and that's the majority. Pineapple on pizza? I'm not a fan. I don't like hate it. Like, it's not something that it's like I'm gonna like attack you for it. Like, how dare you? It's just like, it's just not good to me. I don't know. How's Rev? He's good. He's working. He's working hard. He's a working man. You know him. On the grind. On the grind. I wonder when his video is coming out though. Is it at 3 o'clock? I don't know. It's not out yet. Not yet. If it does come out, we might watch it. I'm curious. I want to watch it either way. Rev likes his work a lot. He does. Which, I mean, you know, they say, what do they say? Like, if you like your work, you'll never work a day in your life or something. If you do what you love, you never work a day in your life. Which obviously isn't entirely true. Like, you're still working, but it's, like, fun. He very much enjoys what he does. He's very grateful to be able to do it, like, full time, you know? Which I think is awesome. And I can't lie, it definitely is nice in so many ways for us, like being able to be your own boss and have your own schedule. And I mean, I'm grateful that he's able to, you know, provide for us through this so that I don't have to have, you know, a big girl job. I can stay home. It's nice. And I can do my things that I do. I appreciate it. I will attack you for pineapple on pizza. Why? John, thank you for the 2. Do you like pineapple on pizza? Is that your favorite? Also, you said you love country. I could imagine you blasting Leanne Rhymes to the max. Yeah, I love all country music. I'm definitely a country music fan. So, 90s and 2000s and 2010s are probably my favorite country music. Because also it's like nostalgic to me. It's like my childhood. So, yeah. It's funny because I spent so long, like, I spent a lot of like my high school years being like, oh, country music is so dumb. But also I was like, and Pink is stupid. And I can't be feminine and girly because that's lame. And then now I'm like, anyways, I love Pink and I love country and yeehaw and God bless America. I'm a different person. Those are the skeletons that are in my closet, chat. The skeletons in my closet were that I was like, I'm gonna paint my room blue because pink is lame. That's so sad. Because truthfully, I always liked girly things and pink, and I liked country music, but I was like, no, I can't like it because I knew that my friends that I had in high school would have bullied me. Which they were not really friends when you get down to it. Not friends at all, actually. Yeah, can you imagine me being anti-pink? What on earth? That's crazy. Do we still do ASMR or no? I have been confused on that. I know Patreon had some Big Sister audios. I haven't felt inspired to create any ASMR in a while, so I just haven't. I'm not like getting rid of the ones that are out there though. Like any of the ASMR that's still up, like I'm fine with it being up. It's just not something that I really felt led to do recently, if that makes sense. So, at the moment, ASMR is on hold. It's on a pause. We're paused. Maybe, I could see maybe a stream. I don't know. It's a lot of work to, like, write, scripts and stuff, and I can't lie, it's hard. It's hard for me to write scripts that are not, like, flirty in nature. That's just kind of, I don't know, I guess what I was used to for so long. It takes a lot of extra effort to make them, like, I don't know if that makes sense. Like, that might sound stupid, but it's just like flirty girlfriend ASMR is just kind of like what I always did. And it's like what comes, like, if I was to write a script, like, that's kind of where my brain goes. And I don't want it to go there. So I just kind of haven't did it. Does that make sense? Yeah. Bible reading ASMR. I have did a little bit of it. I definitely could do more with like a stream. Honestly based. No, I don't want to pretend to be a flirty girlfriend. I'm someone's wife. I don't want to do that. I don't want to. I did it for too long. Even though I felt like it was wrong, but I would do it anyways, so I don't want to do it anymore. But luckily, I feel like people understand that. Bible ASMR sounds amazing. Should I do a Bible ASMR stream? I don't know. Maybe. I just haven't really felt like doing ASMR recently. I don't know. But I don't know. For the sake of the last of Men's Mental Health Awareness Month, that's for the best. Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. I have many thoughts when it comes to ASMR. In terms of like the girlfriend content specifically. And how, like, it's hard. Because, like, on one hand, I think some people can listen to it and purely listen to it as, like, entertainment and not let it get any deeper than that. I know that is not the case for a lot of people. A lot of people are looking for some kind of comfort and, like, to fill a void, I guess is a good way to put it. And while I get it, and I'm not judging you for it, I don't know, and of course I'm not judging you for it, because I contributed to it for so long, but is it the best way to fill that void? I don't think so. I think there are better ways to fill the void. And it's ultimately, it's just a band-aid, really, you know? It's not going to satisfy what you really want, you know? But I think it depends on the person. It depends on how parasocial it can make them, because obviously there's a range. But it's kind of like a difficult thing. That I struggled with that a lot whenever I would make the content, because part of me was like, oh, I'm helping people, and I do feel like people were helped in certain ways, and then people would tell me that I helped them, which felt nice, but at the same time I was like, am I really helping you though? I don't know. You know what I mean? People do like tapping or even the sounds of moving your hands over pages or books. Yeah, no, that's great too. That's all nice, and that would work well obviously with like reading Bible ASMR type stuff. But like that drama, I don't remember any of that. I'm gonna be honest, there's been so many like dramas like since I started being a VTuber like a million years ago. I can't keep track, but probably just pure ASMR sounds is what I like to use for reading books too. Yeah, purring cat ASMR, but I can't purr. It's not fair. I have a disability. I would be like, I'm a disabled cat because I can't purr. It's so unfortunate. Let's see. I always feel like ASMR is like an audiobook, like a dating sim. Yeah, see, because like some people look at it more like that. Like if you were to play like a dating sim game. Because then, I mean, you could say the same thing about dating sim games, right? Like, some people play them and it's just fun, and like, it doesn't really get much deeper than that. But then I'm sure there are some people who play them and they're like, they get extra attached and it possibly becomes unhealthy, you know? And that level of unhealthy can like vary as well. But I've been completely removed from the ASMR chats. I can't fit in with any of the viewers anymore. What do you mean by you've been removed, Bob? Like you removed yourself or they removed you? I like mouth sounds. Not in like a lewd way, it's like a ASMR trigger. Yeah. I like mouth sounds too. I like the inaudible whispers. Those are things I would do when I was streaming more so than like whenever I would make an ASMR video, it was usually always roleplay. But like ASMR streams, I would do things like that more, which I do enjoy that. That was always fun. Yeah, I liked like inaudible whispers up close and like mouth sounds. That's always nice. Remove myself. I used to have a lot of friends in chat. They all laugh and think people are weirdos. Well, Bob. You know, it's interesting. I would love to like see these people and how they act to where you think they're weirdos. Because it's not like you're not also, like, kind of a weirdo. And I don't say it to be mean. Like, it's not in a mean way. It's like, we're all kind of weirdos, you know? But, like, when you tell me that, like, someone's a weirdo, I'm just, like... I'm trying to envision it. Like, what does it really mean? Like, if you guys go on my tweet today for when I announced stream, Bob left a comment of, like, react to this. And I'm like, Bob, what is this? I'm like, listen, we're all weirdos in our own way. But yeah, there definitely is levels. There's levels to it, right? Like I used to say, when I used to try and like date people on like I would try and go on dates like on Bumble or something. And it's like I always wanted someone who was weird. You know, like I wanted to be with someone who was kind of weird because I'm kind of weird. Like I have some like, you know, hobbies and interests that are kind of weird. Like I'm kind of a weird, but like there's like different levels to it, right? Because I feel like I wanted someone who would like could match my weird, but then I would end up with people who were like creepy weird. like there's levels to it, I suppose. You know? It's like, I want someone who's weird. Like, I don't want, like, a total normie, right? That's boring, and we couldn't relate. Like, what do you mean you don't know what Discord is? Or you've never, like, I don't know. You've never seen an anime before. Like, I don't know, you know what I mean? Like, if you saw my figure collection and you'd, like, judge me. You know what I mean? Like, I want someone who, like, can get it. But then I'd have someone who was like, I want to follow you around in my car when I'm not with you. Weird. And I'm like, oh, that wasn't the weird that I wanted. You know what I mean? I'm so grateful that I found Rev. Because he's like the perfect level of weird for me. We match each other's weirds quite nicely. Every single online date I ever went on, they always wanted sex every time, and it disgusts me. And I think that makes me... You're not weird. No. People are so, like... It's just so normalized to do that so quickly. Even just a kiss. I remember, like... I remember going on dates, like, in college. I didn't go on many. But, like, there were a few times where I did attempt it. And my roommates, which were also, like, basically my friends at the time, would be so surprised if I was like, oh, I didn't want to kiss someone, like, after the first date or something. And I'm like... Why would I want to kiss someone? I just met you. Like, why would I want to kiss you? Like, I feel so... I don't know. Like, I'm not trying to be a total prude or anything, but, like, I don't know you like that, you know? But, like, people act like that's crazy. You know what I mean? Like, and I wasn't even religious at all at the time. Like, not at all. But even I felt like that's a little quick, you know what I mean? It's a little much. John in English, thank you for the 2. We'll literally jump across the table if you add it. Okay, well don't worry. Pineapple on pizza is not going on our pizza. So, you're good. You're okay. Thank you for the 2. And Soul Swirl with the 10. However you feel about the ASMR, whether you felt led to do it, I would just like to say thank you because your streams and ASMRs have helped me through some pretty tough times. Aw, that's sweet. Well, I appreciate that. And thank you. That's very nice. I'll never regret people telling me that I made them happy though. Like I'll never regret that. That'll always make me happy knowing that I helped people, even if it was like even if maybe I wouldn't do the same content again, but knowing that maybe people would be happy because of me, and even just my streams, like that makes me happy. So you know, we can appreciate the good as well, because there was good for sure. Maybe we're not weird, we want whimsy. Yeah. You yearn post because it's funny, they yearn post because they are lonely. We are not the same. Do you, Bob, is it really just funny to you? Is it really just because it's funny, Bob? It's just funny. I don't even understand the urine posting. Bob, you confuse me so much. If vampires were real, I'd be serious. Bob, you confuse me so much because you urine post and then you say you want to be like a priest or something. What is urine posting? I feel like Bob needs to explain it. He just like yearning for anime waifus. But then he's like, I'm never getting married though. I'm like, why are you like, I know they're not real, I guess, but it makes it seem like you want to be in a relationship, Bob. I don't know. I feel like it gives me confusion. Honestly, based because anime girls aren't real. I understand, Bob. Yeah, but to be fair, Bob has also commented on like IRL cosplayers saying they were really cute. Just saying, I saw him the other day, so that's a real girl, Bob. Cosplayers are real people, Bob. Bob's like, well, maybe I'll get a cosplayer girlfriend and then that'll... then his situations will change. Get you a Catholic cosplaying... a cute Catholic cosplayer. That's Bob's real dream. Squirrel girlfriend that was hiding my biscuits. That sounds so wholesome. Did I get rid of that one? I know I did. I got rid of like everything on my main channel. Let's see. Let's see. Hold on. I have it. I have the MP3. I've thought about like going back for certain ones that are like actually wholesome that I did delete and like maybe re-uploading them somewhere for people. I have all my, like every single ASMR video that was on my channel, I have the MP3 files. I have the archives. I have them all in my Google Drive. So they're not technically complete lost media. I mean, all the videos were deleted, but I have the audio files. I just never deleted those off my computer. But yeah, I have Squirrel Girl with her biscuits. I'll have to listen to it. Part of why I deleted everything in mass was just because, like, I feel like most, I would say a majority were probably ones I would have wanted to delete, but you have to understand how many videos I had and how long each one was. There was just no reasonable way for me to go through and listen to every single video and try and make like a decision that way. Oh no, the videos are not privated, they're deleted. I didn't private them. I full on nuked them, dude. I still remember the day I did that. I was not doing well. I was so stressed out that day, and I was just like, what am I doing? Am I gonna do it? Am I not gonna do it? And then I just started like, delete, delete, click. I was like, there's no going back. And I pressed the button that said like, select all on the page, and I just, delete, delete all, delete all. Are you sure? Yes, delete all. And I just did it. I was so conflicted. I mean, I went back and forth on that for a while, but I finally just did it. It was like eating me alive. Yeah, I was just like, delete, delete, delete. It's over. It's over. You can always make them friend or big sis. That is true. Those are wholesome. Don't get me wrong. There is wholesome ASMR out there. And I have created wholesome ASMR. I just know that there is some ASMR that are, obviously not wholesome. So. Are women not allowed to be cute to you platonically? Well, of course. Of course they are. But when you're yearn posting, that doesn't feel platonic to me. Thank you for the 5. I'm sorry, I never know how to say your name. I don't know, maybe you can try and like help me with this. I don't have much to say other than your ASMR helped me during COVID and right after my father passed. It was a strange comfort, so thanks and all. Thank you. I appreciate that. Strawb with the callouts. Just being honest, okay? Listen. I understand about many of your old ASMRs, though I first found you from your testimony. Based? Let's freaking go. Like flirty, yeah, I like that all kinds of ASMR, but you being married and wanting to not have that content out there, good on you. If anyone got mad at you, just break them. I will say most people were supportive. And I understand people being upset and like, or sad, you know, because like, it's like, oh, I really loved this. Like, I understand that. Most people were not mean to me, I will say. I had a lot of support from people, and I had a lot of people who, at the very least, like, respected my decision. I did have some people who were, like, mean. Obviously. But, I mean, you're always gonna have people who are mean. Like, you know? But I feel like those people didn't really view me as, like, a person. I feel like they just viewed me as something, like, they could get from me. Like, I feel like if someone's gonna be, like, straight up mean to me about it, whenever it's very clear that this was something that I struggled with, and it was a very hard decision that I made for myself, but it came from ultimately, like, something that is, like, my comfort level, you know, like, what I was comfortable with. I feel like if someone can't, at the very least, respect it, even if they're sad about it, like, that's fine, but if they can't even respect it at all, it's like, you don't respect me as a person, you know what I mean? It's like, you just don't respect me as a person, and that's sad, because I am a person. We're all people. And I want to be comfortable, you know, with what I do. Guyan with the 10. I hope you're having a good day, Strawb. I am having a good day. Thank you. We're going to get to start watching some of these videos in a minute. One of my favorites. Wait, hold on. Soul Swirl with the 10. One of my favorites by you was the one where you come home and take a nap or fall asleep with your girlfriend. You even mentioned in the video almost falling asleep while driving home. I feel like that's a very common trope. When is his video gonna go live? I guess it wasn't 3 o'clock, huh? His thumbnail from yesterday, Rev's thumbnail from yesterday is scary. I don't like it. I don't like it, Chad. I'm scared. Any update on when the t-shirts are shipping? So, let me see what they said. I don't think they gave a date. Let's see. The one from yesterday on his main channel. Scare me. Scare me. Okay. Usually it has an update like on the website, like for... Let me message right now and just ask when they think those are gonna ship. Hey, oh, for sure, but just curious when the acid wash t-shirts are supposed to ship. Okay, I'll let you know what they say. I'll let you know, chat. Soul Swirl with the 2. I should get going. Thanks for the stream. Thank you. And thank you for the donuts as well. I really appreciate that. That left me painfully depressed, especially since I lost one of my most loved videos on your channel. And I've been desperate to hear it again. I mean, I will say, like so, because someone mentioned, like, the biscuit, like, the squirrel video. If you think that there's, like, an old video of mine that you personally think is wholesome that isn't, like, girlfriend, like, it's, like, a friend or something wholesome like that, I mean, you're free to, like, reach out to me and, like, see if I have it and if I'm comfortable releasing the audio file, I will. Because I will say there definitely were some videos that I took down that I probably didn't have to take down. But like I said, I was kind of just, like, I was just, like, getting rid of everything because I was just like, I needed to do it. You know what I mean? Like, I couldn't go through, it was like, what, 400 videos or something? I just couldn't watch every single one. Or the meme ones, yes. I did have a few meme ones that were pretty funny. There probably is not a Pandora's box you want to offer. Well, I mean, I'm just saying, like, I'm not guaranteeing anyone anything, but I'm just saying, if there was something that truly was wholesome, I wouldn't mind re-uploading a few things to, like, Patreon or something. Even at, like, the free tier. But again, it would be on my own time, and it would be obviously up to me if I did it or not, if I felt like it was, something that I was comfortable with, but... Because unironically, I've thought about that before. I thought about doing that before. I just haven't. Because like I said, I have the audio files. The frying pan. Even if you took 5 minutes per video to take them out, it would take it over a full 24 hours. Well, exactly, and it's like, that's why I didn't do that. That would have taken so long. I'm so ready to rock that t-shirt for summer and at work. It's gonna be fire. For sure. Digital deep clean. Yeah, there's so much that I could digitally deep clean. We do our best. We do our best, chat. Okay, let's react to some videos because I want to react to some videos, and we've been yapping, which is good because I've missed talking to you guys, but I do want to watch some things with you. So let's see here. I wanted to watch this video, which, oh my goodness, I'm kind of shook because, this guy that I mutuals with on Twitter was like, are you reacting to my sister? And I was like, I love Amala. And then I was like, wait, is Amala actually your sister? Because he does have the same last name. And I noticed that Amala follows him on Twitter. And so I'm like, wait, is that actually his sister? Like, what? And he didn't reply to me. I mean, maybe he has since I've been live, but I just didn't see it yet. But like, what? That's crazy! I've been mutuals with possibly her brother this whole time and didn't even know. I thought they were cousins. Maybe he was just saying sisters and like, I don't know, like in like a friendly and endearment type way. But even if they're related at all, whether they're cousins, sisters, whatever, the sister, brother, that's crazy. I was definitely not expecting it. Yeah, it was Max. I was like, what? He was like, you know ball. I was like, wait. I was like, I react to her. I was like, I've watched her for like a while. I was like, I did not know this. That's crazy. Yeah. Anyways. Let me unmute this. This video, I saw people talking about this the other day. Oh my gosh, let me go back. Conservative men. I think I have probably a few conservative men in the chat. Do you want a liberal woman? And okay, listen. Listen, I was a lot more liberal when Rev met me. However, that was like a character flaw he was willing to overlook. Okay? That wasn't why he wanted me, to be fair. We were like star-crossed lovers, okay? But unironically, neither of us cared as much as we care now about things, so I think that makes a difference as well. Well, actually, I feel like I cared a lot in a different way. I don't know. I had a lot of, like, I was very annoying in a lot of ways. I guess I still probably am, just in a different way. As long as she's a vampire, oh good. Groom your girlfriend is my answer to that question. Chat's like, I can fix her. Chat's like, if she's attractive, I can fix her. Well, let's see what this girl had to say, because I'm pretty sure she said something along the lines of like, conservative men don't want conservative women, they want liberal women or something. Which, like, I think it also depends on your definition of these things, because there are liberals that are like, believe it or not, more normal. And there are liberals that are crazy. And there are also conservatives that are more normal. And there are also conservatives, or so they call themselves, that are crazy, in my opinion. So, I don't know. I guess everyone's different. But let's just take a look. Take a look. Take a look.
The reason that y'all can't find conservative men, the reason that conservative men just don't seem to be into you is because they are in my DMs. Yeah, conservative men are in my DMs. They are in every liberal woman's DMs. And I have...
Okay, guys, are conservative men actually just interested in left?
I feel like it also depends on your definition of conservative as well, because like, if you are a true conservative that like values like you don't want to sleep around, you want to get married, you want to have like something like, you know what I mean? Like, what are you talking about? Like, they're in my DMs. I feel like if there's a guy who's like in all these liberal girls' DMs trying to sleep with all these girls, they don't sound very conservative to me.
Leftist and liberal women at the end of the day. Let's talk about it.
Yeah, you better. Yeah, you better.
Guys, before we get into today's video, please like and subscribe. Today, we're responding to something I found on TikTok. It's titled, Why Single Conservative Women Can't Get Husbands. It has nearly 100,000 likes on it and a ton of leftist liberal women who are backing up this claim. So let's hear it. And I want to hear from conservative men in the comments down below. Let me know if this is true.
My conservative girlies, I'm reading the recap from the Turning Point USA Women's Leadership Summit, and wow, lots to unpack. But I did want to start here. The reason that y'all can't find conservative men, the reason that conservative men just don't seem to be into you is because they are in my DMs.
Okay, let's go ahead and start there. First of all, it is so clear that this video is being made out of a place of malice. This person...
Well, obviously, yeah. Do you watch a lot of Amala? Yeah, I love her. She's one of my favorite YouTubers. You want to see the receipts? Yeah, I want to see all these conservative guys in your DMs. Interesting. I mean, do I doubt that there are like Trump voters in her DMs? Sure. I could see that happening, but like I don't know. This just, yeah, it feels like rage bait. It feels like I don't know. And also, there's a lot to unpack there, yeah.
Hates conservative people, conservative women at that, and is leading with that first and foremost. And when you have this sort of dark, mean energy in what you're talking about, I can tell that that is the main motivator behind what you're doing, not necessarily logic or reason. So it's already tainted by the energy that you have. Let's continue though.
Yeah. Conservative men are in my DMs. They are in every liberal woman's DMs. And I have proof for days, okay? They love us. And let's talk.
I don't doubt that there are conservative men in the DMs of liberal and leftist women.
Especially women like her who, like, you know, she looked like, if I saw her on the side of the road, I mean, I don't try to like look at someone and be like, are you liberal or conservative? But like, I wouldn't be able to tell she's super liberal by the way she looks. Like, she looks kind of conservative, honestly, like with her outfit and her hair and her makeup. Like, if she would have said she was conservative, I wouldn't have been surprised, so I don't know.
Let's just talk about what that means though. First and foremost, is a DM an indicator of what men want in long-term relationships and marriage? Probably not. More often than not, a man is sliding in your DMs because he wants to bang. Let's be honest. So is it because you're a leftist or a liberal that he wants to bang, or does he not care that you are a leftist? Or
I think that's a better point, right? I think they're in your DMs because they just want to sleep with you. And they probably think that you would maybe be an easy person to sleep with. I don't think that they really care about your values because I don't think that they really want to marry you.
or liberal and still wants to bang. Guys, be honest. And if he's in your DMs and you're a liberal or leftist, does that mean he's not in the DMs of conservative women? No, it doesn't mean that. He's probably spraying and praying, my dude. So do these conservative men love liberal and leftist women, or do they just like women and they don't really care what your political affiliation is? I'm going to go with the latter. But it is really interesting to take this experience of getting DMs from conservative men and immediately think to yourself, how can I weaponize this against conservative women or attack them based on this experience, rather than thinking to yourself, maybe this is an indicator that men don't really care about political affiliation that much. Even more so than that, some of these men are challenging your political affiliation a little bit. They're going, even though she is outwardly leftist, even though she's calling herself the Regina George of the left, I still think I have a chance. So let me go ahead and slide in her DMs. It's not a sign of respect. And I'm going to go ahead and say it. What a way to center men in your worldview. Never in my life have I received a DM from a man and thought, how can I weaponize this against a group of women I don't like? Never. But I think conservative women are living in this girl's head rent free. Let's keep watching.
A little bit about why, right? So at Turning Point USA, one of the common themes for women is that they need to submit. There's a lot around submission, and
I think that's because a lot of the Turning Point USA stuff is like Christian based, and that's obviously a part of that. So, but it's not just, oh my gosh, that makes me think of that tweet I made a while ago. People were trying to cancel me for it, but it's like, yeah, a wife submitting to her husband, but also the husband. Technically, the Bible does say that you submit to each other, but also it says the husband, submits to God, which you both submit to God. But, like, if a husband is a good leader and he is leading in a good, godly way, then it's a lot easier and better to submit to your husband. But obviously, if he's not doing what he's supposed to be doing, it's different, which is why you should marry someone who is good and you have the same value. You know what I mean? Like, it's
doing whatever your husband or partner says, and doing all of his chores, whatever, which is
yeah, I feel like people have taken that word and they try to make it into something, like, gross. But, like, it's really beautiful if you think about it in the correct context.
Is actually antithetical to how most men operate and what attracts them to a partner, right?
Okay. Is submission antithetical to how men operate? Let's ask ourselves that question. I don't think so. Now, there's a ton of different definitions of what submission even means within the conservative realm of things. So I'm not sure how exactly we're going to unpack all of that. But I will say, I think at the end of the day, when men are looking for long-term partners and marriages, they are looking for a somewhat submissive counterpart.
Well, I think also one of the main things that I've seen as far as like the whole like the submissive thing goes is like when it at the end of the day when it comes to big major decisions. And I can speak on this too as being someone who's married to a man. It's like when we have big decisions, we speak about them together, we talk about them together, but ultimately there can only be one decision made, right? Like you can't have two different people making two different decisions for one family. That's like if you're trying to decide if you're going to move out of the state, it's a really big life decision. And you're talking about it with your husband and your wife, and like you're talking about it with each other. Ultimately, someone has to make the final call. Someone has to make the final say. You can't have both of you making two different decisions. It just doesn't work. So
a wife. For me personally, that doesn't mean that you're supposed to be at his beck and call and a little puppy dog that just does everything that needs to be done all the time and you're just waiting for.
Can't you agree on a decision? I mean, obviously that's the ideal and that's what you should try to do, but like ultimately sometimes someone has to make a call, and ultimately like in a Christian marriage, the common belief is, you know, the husband would be the one to have the final say. Now, you don't have to like it. You don't have to feel that way. And ultimately, personally, I feel like if the husband's saying or thinking something crazy, and this is just my opinion, I don't even know if this is like, I don't know anyone else's opinion about it, but like, if I felt like, you know, the decision was not something biblical and not something, you know, then I think there's more room, obviously, to like challenge it. But at the same time, I don't know, it's very conflicting and confusing to like talk about. It's very like she said, there's a lot to unpack with it. But I think Gabe kind of put it good. Like, submitting is the idea of leaning on your husband and trusting his decision when it comes to the hard choices. So like, ultimately, there have been certain things in my life where it's like, I really maybe don't like a certain idea, but like, ultimately, I try to just trust that Rev is going to make the best decision for our family. And I just let him make that decision. And then we go from there. So I don't think that necessarily means doormat at all. And I think if you have a good husband, that he will care what the wife says. And want to, like, you'll want to make your family happy, but at the same time, sometimes what's best for your family isn't necessarily what they want in that moment. Does that make sense? I think if the wife has a say in the decision, I don't think it's only one person's decision. No, and I'm not saying it's all solely one person's decision. I'm saying someone has a final say. I'm not saying it's the only say. I think big decisions should be obviously talked about and prayed about a lot with couples like together. I don't think one person should just be making all the calls and the other person should just sit back and not say anything. I don't think that's what most people are talking about either when they say this kind of relationship, you know?
Orders from this guy, it means that you trust him in his logic and reason to make impactful decisions in your life and his life,
Yeah.
in your family's life.
Which is why you should marry someone that you do trust, and you trust that they are going to make sound and wise decisions. But it can be really hard to let go, and it can be really hard to not, like, nag and try and make things all your way and, like, control things. But I do think it's a good advice. Someone in the chat said, someone once wrote, unless it's illegal or immoral, try saying yes more often. But I think there's something also so, what's the word? Freeing about that, about not having to, like, control and nitpick every single decision ever. Like, obviously, I think big decisions should be talked about. And, like, ideally, you agree on the final says and, like, decisions. But, I don't know. I think God had a design for marriage. And I think that it's one that, obviously, he put thought and effort and intention into, so...
That you found a partner who by and large is super capable and in some ways more capable than you are. And where those capabilities are needed, you allow him to lead. That's just me though. I hope my man is more capable than me and can get...
Yeah. There is biblical support for not submitting when a decision is dangerous, such as the case with Abigail and Nabal, when Nabal refused to help David, whose men were defending his flocks. Yeah, I think that's, like, comes down to more common sense too, right? Like, obviously, if your husband is saying something just totally dangerous or out of pocket, not wise at all, like, I think there is some common sense that can go into it. It's not just being a blind doormat and saying yes to every single thing he wants.
Stuff done in a better manner than I can, and I can trust him to lead in that way. And I don't think that that was unattractive to the man that I ended up with, but that's just me.
What attracts them to a partner, right? Men like the chase, and I'm speaking in generalities here, right? Men enjoy the chase in a way that I, as a woman, do not. I don't want to chase a man, but I love when a man chases me. And men can sense desperation from a mile away, okay? And they can sense when you're just desperate to be married and do whatever they say. And men don't find desperation attractive, babe. They don't. And if they do find it...
I hated that with the whole babe. men don't find aspiration attractive, babe. Do they find making videos like this attractive? I feel like this is such a turn off. And also, yeah, I feel like men don't like the chase. I feel like men want something easy and, like, definite. I don't feel like that's true.
Attractive, at the very least, they will not respect you.
Okay, let's really listen to what she's saying here. She's taking these DMs from men as an indicator that they respect her and are interested in chasing after her. Never in my life have I received a DM from a man and thought, this must be indicative of how much he respects me. Huh? If anything, I'm thinking a man is DMing me because he doesn't think it's going to be that much of a chase. Am I wrong about that? I truly don't think that men are looking at your social media and seeing your leftist ties and thinking, oh my gosh, this shows me that she respects herself so much and that she's going to play hard to get. Let me go ahead and send her a DM. Am I going crazy?
Yeah, let me send her a DM so that we can play some mind games, because I just love the chase. I don't know any guys who feel that way.
So when you've begun a courtship with the agreement that you're going to do whatever this man says, do you know what happens? He will just move the line further and further to see how much he can get away with, which leads to abuse and cheating and all kinds of things that we see play out in the Republican Party all the time, right?
I feel like we see those things play out everywhere. I hate when people do this, like, they're like, oh yeah, all the Republicans, all the conservatives, or all this, like, it's just like, as if there is no cheating and abuse and scandal in liberal relationships and Democrat relationships. Like, it just makes no sense. Like, even like yesterday, I saw this girl make a post about some guy, I guess, was like attacking her dad or something, and she's a very I think she's evangelical Christian, but she was like, Catholics are disgusting, because I guess the guy's Catholic. I'm like, okay, I'm sorry that this one Catholic guy was like mean to you, but why do you have to use this excuse? Like, why do you have to use this like scenario to like attack all Catholics and be like, Catholics are disgusting? It's like, come on. Like, I think we see all of this across people in general, because people are flawed. It doesn't matter what your religion is, it doesn't matter what your race is, it doesn't matter what your sexuality is, it doesn't matter what your political identification is. People are flawed, and we see this across everything. It's just,
Right? Which is why they end up.
Okay, I do agree that you should not just submit to a man right out of the gate. That is something that does need to be earned and over time. But cheating
obviously.
and abuse is not exclusive to the Republican Party. In fact, this affects people of all backgrounds, all political affiliations, all mixes and matches of political party in relationship. So what?
Right? Which is why they end up coming to liberal women, because not only are we not chasing them because we are so not interested, they also can sense that we respect ourselves and that
Again, I'm getting DMs from men because I respect myself. What? Now, would men be hopping in the DMs of women they think they're going to be unsuccessful with, or they think are 100% not interested in them, or have proven to be 100% not interested in them? Absolutely not. Men are using their brains, and they are taking in the stats of where they're successful and where they're not. And if for some reason conservative men are by and large jumping into the DMs of liberal and leftist women, although that has not been proven, it could be because they're experiencing a certain success rate. And where liberal and leftist women say that they 100% would never be with a conservative man, they would never engage with him, they would never sleep with him, they must be experiencing some success to be sliding in your DMs. And with the widespread nature of hookup culture in the West,
Well, they wouldn't admit it, right? They wouldn't admit to liking a conservative guy. But eventually, I'm sure it happens. It happens all the time.
right now, I wouldn't doubt that that's true. And if you are trying to hook up with somebody, which is what people are typically using DMs for, it would make sense to go after a liberal or leftist woman. She's going to be far more likely to engage with you in that way.
happiness does not rely on their approval of us the way that y'all's does, right? My mom gave me fantastic dating advice in high school.
Why does she talk like that, and the way she like scrunched her nose up right there? Hold on.
You in that way.
Happiness does not
Right
rely
here.
on their approval of us the way that y'all's does, right? My mom
She's so condescending. The way she thinks she's so much better than everyone. It's so annoying.
Gave me fantastic dating advice in high school. She said, be the chooser, not the chosen. Y'all are the chosen. Y'all are
Oh my gosh. My mom gave me fantastic dating advice. Be the chooser, not the chosen.
just kind of accepting whatever is coming next because you want to get married that bad. And girls, I gotta tell you, it's a tough watch from where I'm standing.
I'm sorry. It's like unbearably difficult to watch. It's a hard watch.
It's a really tough watch. So perhaps
this is a tough watch for me.
Better bet to attract these men that you think you want, at least
She's so
right now.
humble.
Trust me, been there, done that, worn that t-shirt, is to align yourself with
Been there, done that, worn that t-shirt. She has to be a Southern belle. She's a little Southern girl. A Southern liberal. Been there, done that, worn that t-shirt.
values that, at the very least, respect women as people. Just a thought.
And then we end our video with the illusion of moral superiority, that conservative women don't care about women or women's rights at all. And if they wanted to have success with men, they would start aligning themselves with the women's rights movement of the left, because that is most certainly why men are sliding into your DMs, because you respect yourself so much and because you care so much about women's rights.
That's obviously.
This could have been a really interesting discussion about how, in this sort of fleeting sense, men don't really care about your political affiliation, and thus will hop into the DMs of all different types of women. It could have been an interesting investigation as to why that is the case, but instead, you hate conservative women so much that your idea is to make a video attacking them and saying that your men want me and not you. Just what a mess. I can't imagine hating a group of people so much that this is the video that I feel the need to make. But again, she is the Regina George of left. Why you would want to take a villainous character and make that the center point of who you are as a person is beyond me, but that's exactly what this video gave. Regina George. Now, the video is again titled, Why Conservative Women Can't Get Husbands. I looked into it. It doesn't seem to be true. Here are some facts. Both college-educated and less educated Americans are significantly more likely to be married if they are conservative. College-educated conservatives aged 22 to 40 are 50% more likely to be married than their liberal counterparts. A similar gap exists with those of less educational standards. Let's read a little bit more. Conservative couples vastly outpace their liberal counterparts in getting hitched and having children.
I mean, that makes sense because your values are just different.
According to the Institute for Family Studies. The Institute found that for young conservative men and women, family is more likely to be viewed as an absolute benefit. In the 2020s, a majority of...
It's crazy how that it should just be, like, everyone should think family is a benefit. What?
Conservative young adults aged 25 to 35 have married and become parents, while only a minority of their liberal counterparts have done the same. But sure, you're getting a ton of DMs from conservative men. That's cool. Now, as I said before, I don't know what the...
And again, I'm sure she does get DMs from them, but I don't think it's just because they respect her and want to marry her. And obviously, there are liberals that are married and have families, and that's great and good, and I want that for them, obviously. I want that for everybody, if that's what they want, but I don't know.
These DMs
that was a weird video.
I tend to want to look at stats and trends and place a little bit more value in that. But again, I'm sure she's getting DMs. I tend to rely on stats a little bit more than DMs I get from people of certain political parties. And I would say, I don't know that DMs are a massive sign of respect for any woman, conservative, leftist, liberal, it doesn't matter. If anything, under these circumstances, it seems like a little bit of a dig, actually, that these men are saying, despite your outwardly leftist-held beliefs and your strong indication that you would not be interested in conservatism whatsoever, I'm still going to reach out because I still think I have a chance with you. I don't think they're trying to indicate that they respect you or that you respect yourself. But those are just my thoughts. Guys, I'd love to hear your thoughts.
Yeah, I don't think that was... just the video. Her video just made no sense. Not Amala's, but the other girls. You're always kind of dealing with gotcha success rates if both parties aren't focused on God above all. I think that's why it's most important, like, even like looking at this being like, it says like conservative men, do you want a liberal woman? But ultimately, you can identify as conservative and not have God as number one, and not have those like godly principles as number one in your life. And you can be liberal and also obviously not have those godly principles in your life. And you can be somewhere in the middle, because like a lot of people are not super all one way or the other. Like a lot of people have opinions that kind of like, I don't know, somewhere in the middle, or they have more opinions on the left of one thing and more opinions on the right of something else. Like that's how I am personally. I do definitely lean a lot more conservative, but I do have some opinions that I feel like conservative people would consider more liberal. Especially when it comes to like, I talked about like social safety nets and things like that. Like, I'm very passionate about being able to help people. Obviously, I don't want fraud. I don't think fraud is good, but I think we should, do our best to be able to help people however we can, while still keeping ourselves safe and everything. But, at the end of the day, I don't think that these guys are in her DMs just because they respect her and they just love liberal girls and not conservative girls. But that's just my takeaway. I do think it's important, though, obviously, if you're going to date someone and eventually marry them, to have like-minded, interests and beliefs. And obviously, if you are a Christian, you should marry someone who is also a Christian, because not only does the Bible say you should do that, but I feel like that's just kind of common sense. Like, you want someone who you can relate to, and if like you're super passionate about God and like certain specific things to do with that, and your partner feels the exact opposite, it's gonna be hard to have a family and make these harder decisions later on. Like, let's say you're super pro-life, but your girlfriend's not. All of a sudden she gets pregnant and she wants an abortion, but you don't want that. Well, you're not going to be in a very good position, probably, unfortunately. And that's just obviously one crazy example, but that's why it's important to be equally yoked with whoever you're with. Because you definitely want to make sure that you're on the same page about things. Alright, let's see. Good video, Amala. She's so cute. She's just adorable. Okay, let's see. Oh, I wanted to talk about this. I think abortion is where women have higher privilege. Well, I don't know what you mean by that necessarily. I don't find it a privilege to murder children. However, yeah, I don't know. I'm very pro-life, so I don't like that at all. And I think it's an evil tragedy that has been far too normalized, and it's terrifying. But I don't know if you guys saw this. Oh. TikTok's biggest tarot reader made an announcement no one expected. Apparently this is like a really big tarot reader from TikTok. Apparently she even read tarot cards for Hayley Williams. Like, she was like a really, really, really big tarot reader. And she just made an announcement that she is giving it all up. She wiped her channel. Kind of, not to like be like, it reminded me of me, but like it did. It reminded me a lot of myself. Like, she wiped every single video off of her TikTok channel. And basically said she's going in a different direction with her content because she doesn't believe that tarot is something she should be doing as a Christian. And I will say, like, I saw it on my TikTok. Her video popped up on my TikTok yesterday, and I watched some of it. And a lot of the comments are super positive, and they're saying, like, Hell lost another one. We're so happy to have you. Like, Jesus loves you. And then, of course, there's a lot of comments of people like, I'm getting a bad vibe. And like some of these comments have like 20, 30, 40,000 likes on the comments under her video. I'm getting a bad vibe. I think it's so sad that you're having to get rid of something so, you know, important. And they're like, this is clearly oh, what do they call it? They always say it's oh, what's the word? Well, they say like, you know, you're traumatized, so you're becoming a Christian because you have trauma. It's a trauma response. They're saying she is why can't I think of the name of it? When people say like you're basically crazy when you're a Christian, like you're crazy. What's the word for that, chat? Help me out. When you're religious psychosis. That's it. You have a religious psychosis or whatever. They were saying that about her. Like, this is clearly religious psychosis. Which I've had people say that about me too. It's like the moment you even mention Jesus, they're like, this is religious psychosis. Like, it's so crazy to them. The concept of you like loving Jesus and like talking about him, that they're like, this person has to be in a religious psychosis. If Christianity is a trauma response, shouldn't the pro-therapy people be kinder about it? Yeah, except I also in the comments, they were like, a Christian is the worst kind of person you can become. Like, they just hate Christians so much, they're not gonna be willing to give any. And I've seen people say the same thing about me. Especially because, like, in my testimony video, I did say that, like, you know, I had some terrible things happen to me that I do feel like pushed me towards God. I feel like God can use, you know, moments in our lives where we feel weak and scared and sad, and like he can use those moments to draw us closer to him. I don't think that's uncommon, and it's certainly not a bad thing, but people will use that and say like, oh yeah, it's just, you know, a trauma response, blah blah blah, and they try to like undermine your experience and your journey by saying something like that, which I think is just wrong. But let's watch this video about it because I want you guys to see. It's very interesting to me and awesome, honestly.
Large tarot community. When I say tarot, I mean tarot card community on TikTok. One of the largest.
Yeah, I wasn't
creators.
aware there
Her
was
name
such
is
a
Alex Reads Tarot on TikTok.
A large
almost
community.
1 million followers on TikTok. She recently announced that she's leaving tarot because she had a radical encounter with Jesus. Now, the tarot community on TikTok is responding in a very real way, and I want to react to this story. I want to give my opinion. I want to give my thoughts. Let's start with this video right here, and then we'll watch the actual video of Alex Reads Tarot of her announcement of stepping away. Okay, so this will kind of give us some context. All right, let's go.
So Alex Reads Tarot just quit tarot, and we've got to talk about it. So if you're not familiar with this creator, she has almost 1 million.
Do we gotta talk about it? I mean, we are gonna talk about it, obviously. We're here talking about it. But it's like, it amazes me how people feel like you're not allowed to like change your mind about things. You can't change your opinions, you can't change your beliefs, you can't change the direction of your content because of your beliefs. Like, these people feel like entitled to you and the content that you made, and you're not allowed to change things up.
Million followers on TikTok reading tarot cards, and she's done it so successfully she was even in a Haley Williams song. But today she's come out saying that Jesus Christ saved her life, and now she's no longer going to be doing tarot card readings. Now, I'm a psychic medium. I also read tarot cards. Here are some. You hear that? That's just cardboard. It's just paper. There is no power inherent in any tarot deck on the planet. The power comes from the reader, and the reader's power comes from their creator. So if you listen to a religion that continually tries to diminish and dismiss women, you've got to question why. This, again, is the patriarchy and especially white Christian nationalism rearing its ugly head. It is dying, but as it...
What does this have to do with white Christian nationalism? like because she doesn't want to do tarot readings anymore and she's a Christian now, all of a sudden it's white Christian nationalism. That is a very large jump. Like, I'm sorry. As someone who myself I don't identify, and I know some of you guys probably do, I don't identify with Christian nationalism. It's not something that I identify with, honestly, but I very much am a Christian. It's just like, why is that where you're jumping to, and just what does that have to do with anything?
It does, it's going to reach out with its claws and pull anyone it can down with it. So I'm sure pulling her off the internet is a real coup for them today. But we will persist. I want to speak to her followers and tell you, listen, she's on her own personal journey, you're on yours. But
Okay.
there is nothing inherently evil with tapping into your own intuition and providing people.
You can say that all you want, but when you're a Christian, we believe otherwise for a reason. I don't understand how these people act like they're so tolerant. Like, these are supposed to be the tolerant people, but then whenever you say that you found God and you want to follow your religion, all of a sudden it's like you're not allowed to follow your religion. You're not allowed to follow your religion because what you say about your religion offends me. It's like, she never even told anyone else they couldn't do tarot anymore. She wasn't saying, you need to stop doing it. She was saying, I'm not doing this anymore, and here's why. Because I found Jesus. And this has to be their response.
Guidance and answers when they seek it the most. If your God tells you that the way you are born is inherently evil, that's not a God I'm ever going to praise.
I don't think the Bible says that we are born inherently evil. That's not the words that the Bible uses. Oh, okay.
Okay. I mean, listen, honestly, not as bad as a reaction as I would have thought. Let's watch the actual announcement video that Alex posted on her TikTok. I'm sorry, that was a technical difficulty. Let's watch the actual announcement video that Alex posted. Let's pull it up.
Hi everyone, I hope you're all keeping well. Everything that I'm about to share comes from a very personal place. It's simply me being honest about my own journey and where it has led me.
I'm sorry, y'all need to see the video. Nick,
Yeah, I do.
What is Nick? Nick, what is going on?
What's going on?
What? I'm sorry.
Yeah, well, I mean, the Bible, I don't want to get it wrong. It's like, the Bible teaches that we have a inclination towards sin, right? We are sinful. That doesn't mean that we are born evil. I don't think that that's the exact same thing. We are sinful. I don't think we are evil.
I apologize. I don't know what's going on. Technical difficulties.
More things to unpack
But
with that.
give me some grace, right? Give me some God gave you grace, didn't he? And you trying to be like him? Then give me some of that.
I'm giving
too.
you some
I need
grace,
some of
Nick.
that
You're
too.
good.
All right. Let's watch the video. Let's speed it up though. Let's go to let's go like 1.25 speed because this is kind of a long video. All right.
It is
Let's
a
go.
longer video.
Hi everyone, I hope you're all keeping well. Everything that I'm about to share comes from a very personal place. It's simply me being honest about my own journey and where it has led me, and an honest reflection that I've taken the time to put into words. So if you see me looking down here, I've got it written out on my laptop so I can say this as best as I can. Over the last few years, my work has
And some people were also upset that she wrote it all down. As a, like, this was probably a very overwhelming thing to post. I can't blame anyone for wanting to write it all down and have the words to be articulate when you're putting this on for so many people to judge you so harshly.
has become a huge part of my life in a way that I would never have anticipated. It's connected me with incredible people all across the world, every single one of you. It's presented me with opportunities that I would never have expected, and it's allowed for me to have conversations that I'm deeply grateful to have been a part of. Whether you followed along daily, booked a reading, or simply spent some time here, I'm truly grateful for allowing for you allowing me to be a part of your lives in some small way. That is what makes this so difficult. Over the past nearly a year, my faith has become the most important thing in my life. Through that journey, I've spent a lot of time reflecting, questioning, praying, and trying to understand my faith more and where God was starting to lead me. And truthfully, if you'd have told me a couple of years ago that I'd be sitting here making this video, I probably wouldn't have believed you. But one thing that I've come to realize is that life can gently shift in ways that we don't always see coming. And sometimes we think we're headed in one direction, and over time we find ourselves going somewhere a little bit different. I really want to emphasize too that this hasn't been an overnight change. This has been a gradual journey that has slowly changed the way that I see my life and my faith. And I also want to acknowledge for a moment those that are closest to me. They have seen a side of this journey that nobody online has. They've seen my questions, my doubts, my tears, and the moments where I have felt completely torn about what to do next. This has been something that I've wrestled with deeply, and at times it has been incredibly painful.
This has felt
And
very
even when
relatable
they haven't
so
always
far.
understood it, they've continued to love me, support me, and walk alongside me, and I'll always be grateful for that.
Although I will say, unfortunately, I did not have a lot of friends who stuck beside me as I was trying to figure out what I believed in. I had a lot of friends who left and basically just completely disowned me, which is sad. I'm glad seems like she's had a good amount of support though, which is nice.
I know that some people may find this decision surprising, and some people may wonder how I can be saying this after spending years of doing the work that I've done, doing it professionally, but all I can do is be honest. Over the years, I've approached the work that I've been doing with total sincerity and care. I built my life around this. I've dedicated years of myself to it and have acted according to what I genuinely felt connected to at the time. Every reading I gave came from a place of thoughtfulness and a genuine desire to help. But over the past nearly year, something has begun to change in me on my journey. And I noticed that as my faith grew, I began to find myself wrestling with questions that I couldn't quite ignore. What started feeling as something that I couldn't quite explain began to grow into something that I couldn't quite ignore anymore. And for a long time, I hoped that I could somehow reconcile everything that I was experiencing and continue as
I can relate to that so hard. Like, as your faith begins to grow, it's like you start to notice the things in your life that are not of God, and you suppress it as long as you can because you don't want to get to that realization that, like, you can't have both. You just can't. You're always gonna have this, like, thing weighing down on you, knowing that it's wrong, and you're wanting so bad to be like, it'll just be reconciled. Eventually it'll just click and everything will be okay. But like, you just can't have everything.
I always had, with no changes needed. And so I continued doing readings, I continued doing sessions, but whilst I did so, I was still quietly wrestling with these questions in the background because truthfully, I was still trying to understand what God was revealing to me and where it was leading to me. I was trying to understand that. At that point, I hadn't quite reached the decision that I'm sharing today. I was still trying to discern what all of this meant and where this journey would ultimately lead. But the more that I've prayed, the more that I've reflected and sought God, the more that I've realized that I couldn't ignore where this journey was leading me. And I know that some people may be disappointed by this decision. Some people may be surprised, and others may have questions that I can't fully answer. And I do understand that. All I can say is that this hasn't been an easy conclusion for me to come to. It's been something that I've wrestled with for a while now, and I've only just arrived here after a great deal of reflection and searching. And I hope people can see that this does come from a sincere place and from a desire to be honest about where I am today. This is something deeply personal to my own journey of faith. I am not sharing this to tell anyone else what they should believe or what choices that they should make. I'm sharing it because I've always tried to be honest about my spiritual path and my walk, and I couldn't be honest about everything else while staying silent about something that has changed me so profoundly.
Right.
Because of that, this will be my final post. I am not going to be offering any more readings or sessions. I'm not going to be creating any more tarot content. And once this account is gone, I will not be returning. This truly isn't something that I say lightly, as this has been my life, my work for years. And looking back, tarot has always been a very significant part of my path. It's been my path, my routine, and in many ways a huge part of my identity. And walking away from something like that isn't easy. There's sadness, but at the same time, there's a peace in that decision that I can't.
I get that. There is sadness with walking away, even if you think it's the right decision. Like, I don't know, I can just relate to this so much. Like, I was sad to delete all my videos. Like, that didn't make, like, yes, there was a happiness and a peace that I felt from it, but there was also a lot of sadness, you know, like, I don't know, I'm getting a little emotional because this is just so relatable. Yeah.
Quite explain. And I also want to be clear that this decision is about my own journey and my own convictions. It isn't my place to tell anyone else what they should believe or what choices that they should make. And at the same time, I don't want to pretend that this is simply a case of moving on from one thing to another. And it's part of what has made this decision so difficult and why I've spent such a long time wrestling to try and work out what God has been placing on my heart. I am deeply grateful for the people that I've met, for the conversations that I've had, and for the connections that were formed along the way. Those things matter to me, and they always will. And I don't claim to have all the answers, and I'm still learning every single day, but I simply know that I can no longer ignore what I feel and where I feel God is leading me. And I feel at peace with taking this next step, even with all the uncertainty that comes with it. And I want to acknowledge everybody who has allowed me into their lives in any way over the years. Whether you shared your story, had me read for you, or simply spent time here, I'm grateful for the connection that we had. I approach those moments with genuine care and a deep respect for the people behind each interaction. I also want to thank the many creators, speakers, and people I've come across over the past year. Many of them have no idea who I am, but their willingness to share their faith, their experiences, and their own journeys has actually challenged me to start thinking more deeply about my own life, and has ultimately played a part in bringing me closer to God and helping me understand the questions and convictions that I was wrestling with. And I don't know exactly what comes next for me, but what I do know is that Jesus Christ has saved my life, and I can no longer ignore that reality. So thank you for being a part of this chapter of my life.
Wow.
And I genuinely wish every single one of you the best with what comes next. But I do just want to finish on one final thing. If you have followed me for a while now, you'll know that I always said that I'll never reach out to you first, and now that I'm leaving, you can't be even more certain of that. So please continue to be careful. There may still be scammers and fake accounts, and if anyone messages you claiming to be me, offering readings, asking for money, or contacting you on my behalf, it isn't me. So for once, we will know with absolute certainty that if someone reaches out to you first, it definitely wasn't Alex. I do know that some people may be confused and may feel confused by this decision, especially if something that I have shared over the years has helped them in some way. If that's you, please know that I'm genuinely grateful for that, and I never took the trust people placed in me lightly. At the same time, I've had to be honest about the convictions I've come to and where I feel God is leading me now. I'm really grateful for this journey. I'm really grateful for everything that it's shown me, and for every single one of you. And just know I love you all very, very much. Goodbye.
How can someone be mad at her? That made me tear up. God is so good. I don't understand, you have to understand, the amount of comments that she got on this video, and again, she got a lot of positive comments, but she got so many negative comments from her audience, so many people saying, the meanest things to her, and, it's just crazy. I'm like, how could someone, that was, one of the most sweet, well-written, and spoken. I really don't see how she could have, presented it any, better, for lack of better words. She said what she wanted to say, and I think she said it in a very, respectful and kind and honest way. And it's just, oh my goodness, people are just very upset. But we'll see some more responses.
Wow. Okay, wait. Is she deleting her entire
It looks like it.
Wow.
And that's like
Wow.
a lot to like fully delete stuff.
927,000 followers.
Yeah.
58 million likes. And she deleted all the videos except for the one that we just watched.
That shows conviction, in my opinion. That's not someone just like grifting.
Wow.
That's wow.
I opened TikTok today to see that one of my favorite tarot readers on this app is no longer reading tarot, and her reasoning is because she's been saved by Jesus Christ and she no longer feels like she can do tarot anymore. This is gonna be a long video because I don't want to try to keep it quick, so you can hit 2x speed if you want to see it. And I want to start by saying that I think the Holy Spirit can convict people in lots of different ways based on where they are in their life. I wish her nothing but the best. I hope she's happy. I hope that she just is
A Christian mystic. I see someone in the comments saying, "This was my point of view. I'm a Christian mystic. I do tarot." I'm already seeing major red flags, and we're actually going to watch this video after. It's a short little video I found from Ascension talking about like what Catholics, but I mean I think you could use this for Christians in general, believe about tarot and everything, because yeah, it is not allowed. It is not something Christians should be participating in.
I hope she's good with the decision that she's making and that she came to it not under any type of compulsion. But I will say that it feels to me like she has been captured by the church.
See,
and the reason why
it's people use these words, it's always like, this is a trauma response. You've been captured. This is a cult. Like, you've been brainwashed. Like, they always, it's like partly like infantilizing. Like, you're a stupid person. You couldn't possibly be smart or intelligent enough to understand that you're being misled. But then it's also just like mean and like many things. Christian mysticism has nothing to do with the occult. I know there are obviously like mystics within the, that's not really something people talk about, I feel like, outside of maybe the Orthodox Church talks about it too, and maybe even some like higher Protestant churches. Like, I had never heard of it until I started looking into Catholicism more, but obviously that's not what these people are talking about. They're talking about the occult. So, you know. Also, Wifey Waffin, thank you so much for the membership for 6 months. Hi, Strawb, God bless. My birthday is tomorrow. Happy early birthday, Wifey Waffin. Thank you so much. I hope you have a great birthday. It's gonna be so fun, for sure. But yeah, tarot and Christianity do not go together.
I say that is that I was a person who kind of always had gifts of the Spirit that would be named by the church as like prophecy and discernment. But I have also from a very young age had insights into like the spiritual world. And this got me on more than one occasion accused of by my church as being demonic. I was told I was possessed by a demon. There was a demon in me, and that's why I could see the other demons. I had a near-death experience where I stopped breathing in the middle of the night, and I said that I saw Jesus and spoke to him, and that he told me I had to go back to my body. And I was told that that was a demon and that I may need to be exorcised. I was told that I was going to be brought to the leadership of my church to see if I needed to have an exorcism. We were Baptist, by the way.
Yeah, I feel like you never hear about like exorcisms with like Baptists. Like, I'm not saying it's never talked about, but which is interesting because I feel like I grew up around a lot of Baptists, and like I definitely had people tell me that I had demons in me when I was a child, which is a bit of religious trauma. But it's like, if you think I have a demon in me, but you don't believe in exorcisms, what?
And so I am very well aware of the church's hatred of women in particular who have insights into the spiritual world, and they work very hard to convince those women that those gifts are evil. And so I remember, a few years ago when I had like a new kind of spiritual awakening. I knew I was a Christian. I knew I believed in Jesus. I knew that was never going to change, but I also found new ways to connect with him through tarot, through meditation, through things that the church would have frowned upon and said was not okay. And
I mean, like, meditation, I feel like it depends on, like, what you mean by meditation. I don't know. I don't really trust you at this moment. Like, I think you could definitely, obviously, like, meditate on, like, scripture. Because really meditating just means to, like, focus on, right? And think about it and, like, focus on it and be relaxed, and you could pray, whatever. But, yeah. Just, tarot is definitely not compatible, though, with Christianity in any way or form. You were serving a house blessing last week, and the core element of the ritual is a line of salt over the entrances to the houses. I will say, at one of the churches that I was at recently, before the Catholic Church, it was a non-denominational church, but they believed in like I'm not laughing to like make fun of, but like it's just because they were serious about it. Like they believed in getting oil that was like anointing oil, and anointing your house, anointing your pillow, anointing yourself. They were like really into that. So it definitely is something that a lot of Christians do believe in.
I, like
but
this tarot
obviously
reader said
different
in her
than
video
tarot.
today, I grappled with that. I prayed for over a year daily. Lord, convict me if this is wrong. Where I arrived is that it is not wrong for me. I have some guardrails around the way that I do it, and I'm open and I'm willing to the Holy Spirit convicting me differently one
Anointing
day.
oil,
I believe
that
that's
is
possible.
Not tarot.
But for now, this is where I stand, and that's going to be my hope for this tarot reader.
That makes me nervous too when someone's like, I did a lot of praying and this is okay for me to do. But it's like, it literally is spelled out very clearly, this is not okay to do. So I don't understand how you think it can be a personal conviction for you. Like I get people say like, oh, personal convictions. This is not something that can be a personal conviction though. It's very clearly not allowed. Like, I don't understand.
The Bible says, do not put a...
Visions and prophecy are real things. We're told to test every spirit. Something you can only do if you are intimately familiar with the Word of God. Well, yeah, of course. Like, I think as a Christian, you should believe in things like visions and prophecy. I mean, it's literally in the Bible. Like, you read about it. Like, those things are real. But at the same time, yeah, you obviously have to be familiar with the Bible and what it says about all of these things.
Recent convert into leadership, because essentially they will be a zealot. They don't have the nuance yet. They haven't. They're just going to be.
Okay, I've heard enough of this girl. I don't agree, obviously, but I want us to watch this really quick, just to hear what Catholics specifically. But again, I think this could apply probably to a majority of Christians. I mean, I haven't watched it yet, so you'll be able to see after. But what they believe about these things.
Fun and games. This is much more than just fun and games. Playing with fire is going to get us burned. I'm Father Ambrose. I'm a Norbertine Canon regular from St. Michael's Abbey, and this is Ascension Presents. I'm going to tell you what Catholics believe about horoscopes, divination, reading tarot cards, astral projection.
Yeah, visions and prophecy is not using cards to divine the future. Yeah.
Manifesting, casting spells. And we're going to talk about why those things are wrong and dangerous. What exactly is divination? Divination is when we are trying to figure out what's going to happen in the future, or when we're trying to find out things that we can't otherwise know, except through some sort of supernatural means, reading tea leaves, reading tarot cards, palm reading, horoscopes, and the things that might happen on that funny corner store down the street from where you live. As much as you might just simply lose your money, there's also the danger with some of these charlatans where you might actually lose your soul because they have some commerce with the devil and the evil spirits. There are people out there who dabble in the occult and want you to be involved in the occult too. Now, let's dig in a little bit more specifically to horoscopes and astrology. We need to make a distinction here about astrology, not to confuse it with astronomy. Of course, astronomy is the study of the heavens, a scientific exploration of the planets and the stars and the universe around us. That's a very good thing. But what about astrology? Astrology is a way of trying to look at the stars and the planets or the things that are happening in the skies above us as a way of predicting the future, somehow attributing to these real forces outside of us.
And this is so normal. I feel like astrology is so normalized in our society. Like, everyone's like, oh, what are you? I'm an Aries. Oh my gosh, I'm a Capricorn. We're connected. We're not connected. Like, my son, I remember I had an app in college that my friends had got me to download. Excuse me, because they told me about it. I forget what it was called, but it was like an astrology app, and it told you like your sun, your moon. It would tell you like something like a not like a quote, but like it would tell you like something for your day, like whether, but a lot of times mine would be like bad. Like it would like predict bad things or like things that were like weirdly vague and like creep me out, and I would literally delete it. I deleted the app, and I deleted it for a long time because I was like, I don't like that it's telling me bad things are going to happen. Like, it was creepy. And that was obviously before I was even religious, but it's so normalized. Like, people don't even think about it like that. Also, yeah, Rev is going live later. He'll be live probably in like an hour or two.
A kind of supernatural influence that they
I'll
really
in
possess.
before he goes live.
It's true that the planets and the stars and the things outside of our Earth do have an influence on us. Just look at what the moon can do.
Oh yeah, Ouija
to
board.
The movement of the tides
Absolutely
in the
not.
ocean. Or think about how.
And I would never even when I wasn't religious, dude, the concept of a Ouija board freaked me out so much. I will say I did have tarot cards at one point because everyone doing ASMR had them. And so I did get some. I threw those away before I even was a Christian. It was like maybe a year before I became like, I was like, okay, I believe in Jesus. Like, I'm a Christian. I was like starting to question certain things, and I threw those away. I was like, I don't think I'm supposed to have these, but I never would touch a Ouija board. Tarot's bad. I mean, they're all bad, but Ouija board always creeped me out.
We follow a very carefully crafted liturgical calendar based on the seasons. So not everything that happens in the stars and the skies around us is something that we must ignore, but we must be careful not to use those wonderful truths to somehow make us think that we can predict the future. The church encourages us not to put any stock in the horoscopes that you might find online or on social media or in the newspaper. That's nothing more than pure entertainment, and it has no real value for the way that we can know anything about our lives. If we're trying to lean into these things to predict the future or to know something that we can't otherwise know by some kind of arcane supernatural means, we're probably barking up the wrong tree. What about astral projection? Astral projection is this idea that we can somehow send our soul or our spirit out of our body to travel around the universe or to go to some other place on Earth. This is a strange idea that comes from a 19th century school of New Age thought called Theosophy, which has its roots in ancient Hinduism. And that idea that we can somehow send our spirit or our soul away from our body is a very dangerous and, in fact, erroneous practice. Astral projection is really kind of a modern version of a very ancient heresy in the church called Gnosticism. 2nd century mistaken idea that somehow there's an arcane knowledge or truths that go beyond divine revelation in the Holy Scriptures and the tradition of our Holy Church, and that we somehow need to find this arcane secret knowledge if we're going to really be free. Even as the church condemned Gnosticism way back in the 2nd century, so does she condemn this practice of trying to send our spirit or our soul out of our body today. Trying to do so could really open us up to real demonic influence in our life because, there are wicked spirits out there around us who are very interested in endangering our spiritual lives. And these kind of practices can make us susceptible to those forces of our ancient enemy. What about manifesting something into the future. We see a lot of this, especially amongst the younger generations, and especially on social media, on Instagram and
Very
TikTok, and
common.
especially, I have to say, amongst young women who are trying to manifest a relationship with this particular young man, or manifest some job offer or some positive turn in their life for the future. What are the two big problems with this kind of manifesting into the future? First, there's a tremendous risk that will become
That's awesome, Coffee. I'm so happy for you. That's so great.
superstition if we try to do that. It's an
Yep.
untrue blending of what's natural and what's supernatural. If we are superstitious that I just have to think the right things or say the right things in my head if I'm going to have that relationship or get that job, that's just nothing more than superstition. We should hope for good things from God, and we should do what we can in our life to act accordingly. The second big danger
pray.
is that this idea of manifesting could replace what we really ought to be doing,
Pray.
and that is praying. Prayer is the way that we ask for the good things of God that we are hoping for into the future. What about casting spells? It's another thing that we sometimes see on social media, and especially in the political environment or in the social environment. Casting spells is a little bit like an extension of manifesting, trying actually to make something happen by saying words in a superstitious way to affect the future. This is a really bad idea. Of course, we can try to cast spells or curses against our enemies, which would be in violation of God's command that we love our enemies. The church has a way of protecting us from our foes. We pray the Psalms. We engage in the sacramental life of the church. We're covered with the protective power of God's grace. If we are trying to be modern day witches or warlocks and somehow say evil things against our enemies, there are a lot of evil spirits out there who will probably want to help, and they will probably want to get involved in our lives. If you think that saying these words, casting a spell for something is good, can't be harmful because I'm actually hoping for a good thing, the problem there is that we're confusing what should be prayer with something that I'm doing, that is trying to affect the future by my words, or trying to
and your
influence the
will.
future, even for the good, by some superstitious act that I'm doing. What we want to be doing is praying for the good things from God. What about all those folks who say, well, you know, it's all just for fun, Father. We don't actually put any faith in these things. I read my horoscope because it's entertaining. This is much more than just fun and games. There really are evil spirits all around us trying to lead us down into temptation and into sin, and eventually into death and destruction. Playing with fire is going to get us burned. And we teach our children that. So even the things that might just seem like harmless fun can actually open us up and put us in touch with creatures and beings that we don't want to have any involvement in our life. Now, what does the church say about these things? I want to read for you from the Catechism of the Catholic Church. This is number 2116. All forms of divination are to be...
Oh, you're fine, Coffee. Don't worry. Also, someone said, what made you turn to Catholicism? I'm not, I'm not technically Catholic. I've not been confirmed. You have to finish through a bunch of like OCIA classes and things like that to do that, which I am on the track to do. But honestly, like, I read some books, did some research, watched a lot of videos, prayed a lot, and I'm still praying a lot and trying to, 1000% feel confident in all my decisions, which is hard for me. But I do feel like I'm where I'm supposed to be right now, which is attending Mass. And I really enjoy it, and it's been very nice. I feel like a lot of the historical things is what drew me to the Catholic Church, specifically looking into earlier church fathers and just like the history of the church, because coming from a like non-denominational background / like some Baptist churches as well, it's a very big difference and a very big jump, obviously, compared to something like a Mass. So it's been very different, but I just had so many questions, and I feel like I'm getting answers that I wasn't getting before. And yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I feel good about it as of right now. So I know people have their opinions. You're entitled to them, but that's where I'm at right now. So
Be rejected.
I really just pray that God puts me wherever God wants me. So, and as of right now, I'm at the Catholic Church. So I guess that's where God wants me right now.
Catechism of the Catholic Church. This is number
I want to hear this.
2116. All forms of divination are to be rejected. Recourse to Satan or demons, conjuring up the dead, or other practices falsely supposed to unveil the future, consulting horoscopes, astrology, palm reading, interpretation of omens and lots, the phenomenon of clairvoyance and recourse to mediums, all conceal the desire for power over time, history, and, in the last analysis, other human beings, as well as a wish to conciliate hidden powers. They contradict the honor, respect, and loving fear that we owe to God alone. We weak human beings have a really hard time giving up control over our own lives. But surrender to God is a very beautiful
I don't know
thing.
about
It's a very
6'7" being
thing.
demonic. I think it's just
God
a meme.
wants most from
Not
us, that we
sure about that
give our
one.
lives over to Him, give over control of our lives, and give over even control
might be
for what
cringe,
might
though.
happen to us in the future. Do you remember what He says in the Sermon on the Mount in St. Matthew's Gospel, chapter 6? He says, "Consider the lilies of the field. Think about the birds of the air, how our Lord takes care of all of these
them.
things." And
How
He
much
concludes that
more
beautiful passage
worthy
about
of
not
me
worrying about
are
the
you?
future. He says, "Do not be anxious. Do not be anxious."
About
Our Lord
anything.
wants us to trust Him because He loves us. If there's anything else that you're wondering about, any other practices that I didn't mention, drop them down in the comments and we'll see if we can address those in a future video.
Nice. For sure. You're doing catechism this year after many years postponing it. That's awesome. Speaking as a Catholic, it's a real commitment and you're doing the right thing. I appreciate that. I appreciate any and all support. Yeah, it's hard because you know, people have their opinions, and obviously, like, I grew up very different. Like, hold on. Obviously, when you grow up when you grow up like Baptist or non-denominational, you're gonna hear a lot of bad things about Catholics. Unfortunately, it's just kind of a part of it. And it's sad too, because as I have, you know, looked more into the Catholic Church and started attending Mass, like, I can't lie and say I haven't been hesitant to share that with certain people that I met in the other churches that I was a part of. Because I do get scared that someone's going to try and talk me out of it, is I think the main thing. Which I know I shouldn't be that way. It's more like I don't have to bring it. It's not that I'm lying necessarily. It's more like I just don't bring it up, even though maybe I would want to, because I'm happy about what I'm doing. But like there are a couple of people, like, specifically that I can think about that, like, I've talked to that were, like, checking up on me because I don't attend their church anymore, and I would love to tell them, like, oh yeah, I'm actually going to Mass. I know that they would not be supportive. I'm pretty sure they would not be supportive, and they would be actively trying to discourage me from going, and I just don't think that I'm at a place with it to where I can adequately, like, defend it with some of those people. And so I just don't really want to be put in that situation to where I would need to, you know what I mean? I've told my family, obviously, and people like that. And, like, online, it's easier. But whenever it comes to, like adults that I really admire, I joined a lot of Bible studies, at a couple of the other churches I attended that were, like, non-denominational, specifically, and I befriended and even had some women, like, kind of mentoring me at one point. And this one woman in particular, like, she's so sweet. And I really do care a lot about her, and I think she has good intentions, but I remember during some of the Bible studies, like, it didn't come up all the time, but it definitely came up a few times. At least once I remember it came up, talking about, like, Catholics, and just talking, I believe, about, I mean, you'll hear it, like, on Twitter, like, how it's a false gospel, how they don't, you know, believe in Christ's sacrifice, and, like, I don't know, just all these things that, in my opinion, are just blatantly false. Having been to Mass now, even if you're not a Catholic, I don't think it's appropriate to be saying those things about Catholics. I think a lot of it comes from being misinformed, in my opinion, because I do feel like I was misinformed for a long time about Catholics, and about what they believed in, and I don't know, I feel like it's just, I can see it all so much more clearly now. And, yeah. And I know that not all of you are Catholics, so some of you guys might not agree. And, like, you're entitled to not agree with me, and agree on these things. However, I don't know. I have a really big issue when people say things like Catholics, you know, are not real Christians. Catholics don't believe in, you know, God, or I don't, like, people say, like, all kinds of things, and I'm just like, I don't see how you can get that from it. Like, I understand how people maybe have disagreements, like, I see how those disagreements happen, but I don't understand thinking that they're not real Christians, or thinking that they have a false gospel, or that they, like, actually, like, worship Satan or something. Like, it's a bit much, in my opinion. And it's very sad to me too, because I don't know, I feel like I see other Christians online that I really admire in a lot of ways, and I like, but then they'll talk about Catholics, and it makes me sad, because, like, I do think I would like to be confirmed, and I would like to, you know, follow through with all of this, if that's what God wants for me, and that's the path that I'm on. I would like that. But it makes me sad to see people say things like, you worship the devil. And I guess I also wonder how people can feel so confident to say that to someone, even if someone does say something that, in my opinion, is out of pocket or wrong. Maybe someone says something that's kind of mean, or just not correct, you know, online, but to tell them that they worship Satan, I feel like that's a very big judgment to say to someone, or to say that they don't believe in God, or any of these, like, really big judgments that people make on others, especially when they don't know them in person. It makes me sad and nervous for them as well, because I don't think that it's maybe the most prudent thing to say that to people. But that's just how I feel. Like, because personally, like, I don't believe it's my place to say whether or not someone is really a Christian, whether or not someone really has a relationship with Christ. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think that's my place to say that, because I personally am of the belief that God works everywhere. And I think that God is, and I feel like I'll still feel this way even when I'm Catholic. Like, I think God can work everywhere, all across the world. And I don't want to put God in a box. I don't think that's my place to put God in a box. I think obviously God has teachings that he has given us, and we should do our best to follow those. But ultimately, like, God gets to decide who goes to heaven, you know? Like, God gets to decide. He is the one who gets to make those decisions. And, like, that's not up to us. It's, like, way above my pay grade to tell someone if they, you know, truly have a relationship with God. So that's how I feel about that personally. Sorry. Matt, thank you for the 5. I'm happy you found joy in Catholicism. God found me there as well. I was raised in it, but ashamed for a long time before God helped me when I'm down. Aw, thank you. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed. It's very peaceful. The Mass is very peaceful. I feel very close to God. I feel very connected. I like all the prayers and just, I don't know. And then the Eucharist is very interesting to me. That's something I can't lie, I'm still wrestling with that. That's probably one of the main things I'm wrestling with. Which again, I'm not confirmed yet, and I still have a while before I would even get confirmed to try and continue to wrestle with that. And I think part of it is, you know, it's funny because the other day, my mom, I was talking to my mom about the Eucharist because she had never heard of the Eucharist. And my mom is a Christian, you know, but non-denominational. A lot of non-denominational Christians have never heard the term Eucharist. They just know it as like the Lord's Supper, at least in the South. Don't really call it communion or anything, but I was telling her about it and explaining it to her, and she was like, you could tell she was very freaked out when I was explaining it to her, and she was kind of pushing back on it, you know, and saying that's not possible, and I got offended. And it's kind of interesting because, like, it's something that I am struggling with, but at the same time, I got offended when my mom was so against it, I got offended. So I'm, like, trying to discern what that really means for me. Because I was like, no. And I was trying to explain, you know, certain parts of the Bible and why it makes sense, and just from the research that I've done. But I don't know, it was just interesting. But that definitely is something, that's like one of the biggest things I feel like that I have struggled with. And I think it's because it's just so incredibly different than anything I grew up with. Because as someone who is like Baptist specifically, like I grew up like Baptist, non-denominational, you know, you guys know that. Evangelical. And we are taught specifically that there is nothing special about it. Like, I feel like they harp on it like a bit much, honestly. Like, I remember when I got baptized, at the Baptist church, like, my pastor made it very clear, this is just water. This is tap water from the county. You know, like, they do their best to really, I don't know how to describe it. Like, they do their best to really emphasize just how not, magical isn't the word I want to use, but like, they really try to make it clear, like, this is just for remembrance, or like just for, I don't know how to describe it. You know what? But you know what I'm saying. Like, they make it clear, like, it's all God doing it. It's not the water, or it's not, or like, God's not, like, they would tell you, like, when you take the Lord's Supper, they would say, like, this is just, I mean, I think I told you guys, one time we had, like, crushed up Doritos. Symbolic, thank you, that's the word I was looking for. We had, like, crushed up Doritos. Which I think at a certain point, I was like, this don't feel very, sacred anymore. Which I can't lie, I still like the one Christian rap song where it's like, grape juice for the wine, still Holy Spirit sipping. But then every time I hear that line now, I'm like, that's kind of a heresy. I'm like, but I like the song. But it's funny though. Cool Ranch or Nacho? I don't even remember, to be honest. And maybe it wasn't even Doritos, maybe it was like a tortilla chip. I just remember it was like it was not a oyster cracker, which is what we would usually have. Like an oyster cracker. But either way, you know. But yeah. Oh, I have something else. Because I have some Catholics in the chat. Some pretty knowledgeable Catholics. And I've been curious about this. And I feel like I know the answer, but I don't. And I need to do more research on it too. But like, okay, so I looked it up. If I would have been like baptized Catholic, whenever, like if that would have happened to me at some point in my life, I could go to confession, even if I wasn't confirmed. That's my understanding. You can correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's correct. However, I was not baptized Catholic. I was baptized in the, you know, the correct format, whatever. I was actually baptized twice. So apparently I gotta count the first one. Second one doesn't count. First one happened, I don't even know how old I was. I think I was 8. Maybe I was 10. I don't know. I was a kid. Which means I have to, I guess the first time I go to confession, I have to confess every sin since I was like a child. Which I'm like, oh, cool, okay. So that being said though, I can't go to confession because I wasn't baptized Catholic, even though I was baptized. But because I wasn't baptized Catholic, I cannot go to confession. And I cannot go to confession until I am confirmed. Okay. I'm not going to get confirmed until, at the very least, you go to confession. Yeah, I know you. Okay, you're right, Bob. Because Rev actually told me he did go to confession before because he did it before he got confirmed when he was younger. But I can't go to confession like now. You know what I mean? Like, I can't just do it right now. But I have sins, obviously, that I do. And it's like, I want to confess my sins. And so I confess them directly to God, which I believe God hears me. But I do also want to go to confession. But I guess my question is like, because I read something about like Thomas Aquinas or something said like, if you have the intention to go to confession, the sincere intention to go, like you have been forgiven already or something like that. It's like perfect contrition or whatever, I guess. But I don't know. I struggle with like the concept of like, and I know I shouldn't even put this out into the world. Although maybe that's like some form of divination in and of itself to say that. Maybe I shouldn't say that. But you know what I mean. Like I fear death, as one does. And I'm like, what if I was to die before I was able to go to confession, you know? Like, I'm literally not allowed to, I guess, right now, but like I would like to go to it. And so I guess that's one of the other things I get kind of like, and I think if I talk to my priest, I have a really nice priest, he would probably just be like, calm down, because I've talked to him about other things, and he would be like, calm down, you're fine, everything's okay. Like, I remember last time I talked to him about something, he was like, something about nuns or something. He was like, you know, no, there's not going to be a nun that's coming to your house to like beat you up because you did something wrong or something. Like, as Rev would say, I am a narc. And I want to do things the correct way. And Personoid, I understand what you're saying. And I don't know if, like, I get what you're saying about the snooty. I don't think, like, I understand there's a format to it. And I respect it. At the same time, I guess I just wish things were more clear. And I guess I could just go, like I said, go to my priest and just ask. And I would have a lot more, a lot less stress about it. But, like, I don't know. I wish it was more obvious, I guess. Women overthinking moment. I do overthink. But also, I do believe that God knows my heart and my intentions. And, like, truthfully, like, if I'm not able to get confirmed until next year, because, like, if I was to get confirmed, I believe it will end up being Easter next year. So it's like, it'll be a while, right? So it's like, I'm just destined to hell because I can't, like, until then, because I'm not saying I believe that. I don't believe that. But you know what I mean? Like, I feel like that's how a lot of people tend to look at it. And at the very least, it can make people anxious. You know? And I try to just believe, you know, I have faith. I believe God sees my heart and he knows my intentions are good and pure. But, yeah, I don't know. That's something that stresses me out. don't worry, God's grace is sufficient. You can only do what is within your means. Well, exactly. Yeah. I do want to talk to my priest, though. I want to talk to him. I just like talking to him already. He's so sweet. Like, he's just you can just tell he's, like, so joyful. And he's just full of, like, light. Like, I don't even know how else to describe. He's just a happy man. Like, I don't know. He's great. But I like talking to him because he's just so happy. And he makes me feel very, very, chill. Is it necessary to confess your sins to a priest? I mean, we can go directly to God. He sees our heart and heals our actions. So I feel like it's kind of like conflicting for me because, like, I do believe that God sees our heart and he knows. At the same time, I feel like the Catholic Church, like, if you believe the Catholic Church is the church that Jesus Christ established, then you would believe that he gave us a set of means to do certain things. Does that mean that God cannot work outside of these means? No, I don't think so. It's like ordinary means, I think is what they say, but it's like, just because, like, God can work outside of these ordinary means, but at the same time, like, if you are aware of these means and you're able to do them, I think it's a good thing. And I think there are benefits to being able to confess to a priest instead of just going directly to God. First of all, I feel like, at least for me, when I would go to church, depending on the church that I've been to, whether it was a Baptist or a Catholic, or not Catholic, whether it was Baptist or non-denominational, they would either not have a moment for confession, or they would have a moment, and it would be like 30 seconds max, maybe a minute. And I'm like, I can't pray to God that fast about all my sins. And I mean, of course you could do it in private, but I feel like how many people are, I don't know, I feel like it encourages you to confess. I feel like there isn't that same encouragement sometimes in other churches, like non-denominational churches, like examining your conscience. Like, I had never heard of that before, which is interesting. It's an interesting concept. I examined my conscience so much one time. I started looking over this packet. And in the packet, it was like talking about examining your consciousness before confession. And I started examining it, and then I realized that I can't go to confession for a while, and it was making me really anxious to think about every single sin that I've ever made since I was like 8 years old or something. And I was like, I can't confess for a while anyways to a priest, so I'm just gonna put this away for now. And I was like, I'm just gonna put this away for now, and I'll do this later at a later date. I was like, this is stressing me out right now. Quick off-topic question: did you ever unprivate your recent Twitch VOD? Did I? I think they automatically private. Let me see. Creator dashboard. Yeah, there is accountability and confession. Well, I think also, like, I think about certain things that I would need to confess, and I'm like, I have to say that out loud to a person. And I think there is probably some benefit to that, right? Of you know, having to actually say what you did out loud. And from my understanding, you don't have to get super detailed. You just say, like, the sin and how many times. But still, having to say certain sins out loud, that's it's very, I don't know. And the Bible does say to confess your sins to one another. How often are we confessing our sins to one another in like a non-denominational church? How often are we, like, going around telling our brothers and sisters in Christ our sins? Maybe if you post on Twitter too much. Okay, I'm trying to find, where is my streams? Stream manager. No. I'm so... It's not analytics. Content. Video producer. It's been so long. Publish. Okay, I published it. Yippee! Confession feels good to me, like freshly taking a bath. No, like don't get me wrong, I'm excited. I'm excited for my first time to be able to go to confession. Like, I feel like I will feel, I don't know, I just feel this like weight on me. I feel this weight that and I know, like, because again, like, I do believe that God sees my heart and he knows when I say I'm sorry to him. Like, I do think he knows that. But at the same time, like, I do feel this weight on me that I just feel like I would feel like I wouldn't have if I could go to confession. See, from my understanding, even the sins that I have already, like, sought repentance for directly to God, Catholics would, like, I believe the Catholic Church, like, would still want me to, like, technically go to confession and confess anyways. Like, in the confessional. But I don't think that necessarily means that I'm not forgiven right now. If that makes sense. I don't know. I actually do that. I told my pastor, hey, how can I stop doing the sinful repentance? Lust, for example. I'm confessing my sins to him and to other persons, or if it only counts if it's... I mean, I don't think it's not that it only counts. I think a lot of it comes down to, like, from what I've read, and I'm not the orbiter of truth, like, if you want to know about Catholic stuff, like, I recommend obviously talking to a priest at, like, a Catholic parish, but from my understanding, a lot of it also has to do with, like, how much you're aware of, you know, how much knowledge you have of certain things. Which would make sense to me, because, like, if you're someone who's never heard of the Catholic Church before, then how are you expected to know about the Catholic Church? But the Bible does say, I mean, I don't remember the exact line, but basically, like, you know, the more knowledge you have, the more responsibility you have. Which makes sense. Because if you know more, I mean, that's, like, something I feel like we say now, too, you know? It's like, you know better, do better type thing. And I feel like you could use that in a similar way, maybe. The weight may be your conscience pushing you to make amends with those you may have wronged. I honestly don't think so. There are certain things where it's like, I don't feel like amends are necessarily what's needed. Some things you, like, you move on from. But, I don't know. I just feel like, being able to be honest and it's vulnerable to go to a confessional, you know? And to say things, like, it's vulnerable, and, I think it would be good to admit that, you know? Let's see. Oh, Rev's video did go live. I want to see when he's streaming. His I don't think it's gonna be 5 because his waiting room isn't up yet. Let me go ask Rev when he's going live, because I might watch his video on stream with you guys real quick if he's not going live, but I'll be right back 1 second. Okay, I'm back. Sorry, it took me a second. We were talking. He's not going live until 6. So, we have time. I want to watch his video. Because I'm featured, apparently. And I was going to watch it anyways, so I might as well watch it with you guys, right? Right?
Hey, what's up, guys?
Hey, what's up, guys? Okay, let's see. Alright. We're doing the thing. You liked my freeze frame while I was gone? Okay. Ahem. And I just want to say too, I appreciate everyone hopefully being respectful over the differences between the different denominations, because like I said, I know that there are differences and it's okay to have your beliefs, but I just ask that everyone be respectful of, you know, others, you know, denominations and things like that, because yeah, I just would like it to be chill, you know. Not that you guys are not being chill, but I see a little bit of arguing, and I get it. I know people have different opinions on things, but we're all still brothers and sisters in Christ. I do believe that, and I hope you do too. And you know, that's what matters most in my heart at the end of the day. So, okay. Now let's watch Rav's video. Go give it a like. They finally reached their breaking point. I gotta hear his intro again.
Hey, what's up, guys? Rav here. So at this point, I owe a lot of debt to Kirsha for producing non-stop content relating to her, where in the VTubing scene, the usual suspects are constantly seething and biting her ankles for the hopes of attention and validation from their peers, complaining about how problematic she is while not being able to articulate a single reason as to why. So as always, Munya, glory to the fox woman, all that sort of stuff. But we're going to be looking at two different situations. The first one involving a small VTuber essentially bullied into submission for simply posting about Kirsha, not even expressing support, just posting about her. And in the second situation, a very stunning and brave individual is going to explain why Kirsha, myself, and my girlfriend are such awful.
Who is this girlfriend? I didn't know Rev has a girlfriend. He's cheating on me. Who is this girl? I'm gonna give her a piece of my mind.
Irredeemable people, and of course their sources are because I said so. So let's jump right into that first situation. This is the sort of follow-up post after everything happened. This VTuber Lottie saying, "These past few days have been difficult. I just wanted to share something unexpected I encountered on my travels." Well, this is the now deleted post from this small VTuber right here. It says, "I was driving and saw this VTuber billboard." Of course, it features Kirsha.
That's so cool.
Seems very innocuous, right? You're a
I feel like if I was to see a billboard in real life of a VTuber, I would want to also take a photo of it and post it, even if it was someone that I didn't even really care for. Because that's crazy. Like, there's a VTuber on a billboard? Like, what? That's awesome. That's so cool. Like, okay, well, crazy.
VTuber and you're driving around town and you see a giant billboard featuring someone like Kirsha. Pretty cool moment, something you want to share. Now, this is nothing new. A lot of VTubers have ended up on billboards like Kirsha, and doing so causes immense levels of seething among the usual suspects, who are out in full force in the replies of this now deleted tweet, saying, "Oh boy, not this grifter. Yeah, she's a bigot grifter, Lottie. Oh, it's the bigot. I wouldn't pay her any mind." Now, this meme is evergreen. They keep using that phrase grifter, like they have any idea what it actually means. Grifter means someone who is sharing beliefs for monetary gain that they themselves don't actually believe.
I feel like you can disagree with Kirsha on some things. I disagree with Kirsha on some things, okay? That's fine. I also think she's a sweet girl, lady. I think she means what she says. I don't think she's a grifter. I think she very much means the things that she says. So I don't understand. People just love to use that word about people. I don't get it.
They can never prove why people like Kirsha or myself are grifters, despite calling us that all the time. In fact, our sort of ideology and what we cover and what we do is the exact opposite of grifting. It threatens our sponsorships and opportunities because we speak our minds.
That's what I'm saying. Like, how am I grifting? I'm over here losing opportunities and also, like, speaking for me personally, because as much as, like, the opportunities and stuff mattered to me, that's great and all, I lost friendships. Like, deep, meaningful friendships that I've had for years and years and years and years and years. Like, freshman year of college, best friends for life friendships I lost over my beliefs. When I tell you I would never grift and lose those friendships. Like, if I really didn't believe any of this stuff that I believe, I just wouldn't even talk about politics or talk about religion at all. Like, I lost people that matter so much to me. I still freaking dream about them, okay? I have dreams about specifically 2 of the friends that I lost. I think about them all the time. And it's very sad, honestly. It's very, very sad to me that I think about them all the time. And I wish that they were still in my life. They don't want to be in my life because I voted for Donald Trump. And I'm not even a huge Trumpy. Like, I'm not even this, like, crazy MAGA person. I'm really not. I don't understand. No, I lost friendships that I had made in college. No. And to be fair, I lost those friendships before I was even very open, or I wasn't even super vocal about being a Christian at that point. I was just more conservative. If anything, I think becoming a Christian has honestly made me I don't want to say less conservative. It made me less, I was never super MAGA, but it definitely, I feel like being a Christian softened me. I don't know how, like, it's like I was already soft in certain ways, but I was also, like, mentally ill and poisoned. And then I became a lot more conservative. And then I became a Christian, and then I got softened from being so conservative and so right-wing on a lot of things. And just, like, I don't know. I just feel like I don't even know how to describe it. But all that to say, it's so sad because I miss these people so much. I think about them all the time, and I still love them very much. In fact, I dreamed about one of them the other day, and I literally called her. She did not answer, and she has not texted me. That's fine. Probably should have did that. But, I don't know. I had her so strongly on my mind. Something was just like, call her. And I did, but she did not answer the phone. So, it'd be like that sometimes. But yeah, no, I'm definitely not grifting. I believe everything I say.
Without worrying about whether or not it's going to appease companies and what have you. This is the worst examples of grifters you could ever come up with. It doesn't even make sense on its face. But you can see more comments like this user.
Your parents consider you a liberal now because you're Catholic? No, like, unironically, like, I feel like Catholic teaching has, like, it has a lot of conservative values, but there are also values that I feel like a lot of people would consider more liberal. Even if, like, in my opinion, they're not super liberal, it's just kind of like being a good, moral, loving person, but I digress.
They're saying, oh, hey, it's the right-wing grift VTuber who said ICE wasn't doing enough when they offed Americans and hangs out with Asmongold and Tectone. A full-grown adults follow policing people and also just spouting more nonsense about Kirsha and you look at their account, I mean, why are you following me, right? Wouldn't that make you bad by your own standard? But you can see they're a VTuber manager / mod. Here's a word of advice for VTubers out there. 99% of these VTuber managers are complete scams, right? Like, they have no positive advice that's actually going to be worth any sort of price or investment you give in them. And here's a great example. This guy who's supposed to be a VTuber manager is going off and slandering and seething about other VTubers. Probably the...
Also, people talking about Catholicism in chat again. I just want to say too, I think Catholicism is also very conservative as well, though, because pro-life, staunchly pro-life. Marriage, very clear views on marriage. The pro-life thing, especially, no birth control. Those are all very, in my opinion, those are very conservative values to have. That, honestly, a lot of people who say they're conservatives don't even really care about some of those things. So,
the worst thing you could do, especially as someone trying to gain traction towards legitimate career success, not getting validation from other VTubers on Twitter by complaining about problematic ones, actual, tangible, long-term success as a content creator. This is a terrible example of that. But here's another reply from this user saying, she's unfortunately a right-wing grifter, hella transphobic and racist from what I've seen. Well, I'm sure everything you see comes off as transphobic and racist because these people live in a truly diabolical existence where everything is constantly an existential threat to them. And I tried to look into this account, and this was their page, and I'm just like, whoa, like, bright colors, so much dopamine in your face. I learned absolutely nothing and decided this is more than enough. I don't need to look any further. But here's another string of replies to the original post. This person saying, ain't she that weirdo, anti-woke grifter? And then Lottie says, I don't know who she is. I haven't been in the
word
VTuber
grifter.
community
Make it stop.
for a year now. So right off the bat, there's no such thing as the VTuber community. At best, there's a VTubing scene, but there's no hive mind community. The thing you should always focus on is your community. That's all that matters. Build your own community. That's the best route.
Also, I just disagree. Catholics are not super liberal. Like, I don't understand this concept of people thinking that that the Catholic Church is a super liberal church. I don't get it. And I think so much of it just comes from the fact that they emphasize, like, love and, like, peace. It's really, like, peace and love, and it's like, that's so liberal. And I'm not saying you guys feel that way necessarily. Like, I'm sure there are other criticisms that you might have besides that, but that's just how it feels from my perspective. And also, obviously, you can't judge the Catholic Church based on quote-unquote cafeteria Catholics, right? Like, you shouldn't judge any sect based on hypocrites in the sect. That's just, I feel like that should be common sense. Someone said, I thought I took the day off today to watch a concert. Turns out I'm a bigger Rev's wife fan than I am a concert goer. Oh, I'm glad to have you here. Yeah, so.
You can go. Stop trying to appease all the VTubers around you. They're going to give you horrible advice. They're going to distract you from making content. That's the worst focus you can have. True. But someone clarified in the replies saying, she's like center right and more politically outspoken than most VTubers. That's about it, really. The rest is just a fun time with video games, reading articles, regard noises, and pterodactyl screeching. Come watch if you like. Stay for the things you enjoy. Now, unfortunately, that Lottie individual would be bullied into submission. They would be...
I'm gonna be honest. I read what Personoid said. I think I don't have enough brain cells to really understand it. I would need to, like... dissect it and Google some definitions of things, but...
be led astray here, where they would quote themselves and delete this as well, saying, When I posted the billboard photo, I wasn't aware of the controversy involving the VTuber. I shared it because I happened to see it in public. Not a statement of support.
Also, I don't know exactly the quote that you're talking about, but I don't feel like the Pope all fates lead to God. I feel like things are taken out of context. Like, something has to be out of context. This just... Again, just for another time, I suppose.
Learn sense more about the situation, and I absolutely do not support anyone that spreads hate. Now, of course, they've been led astray here. They can't even cite as to why Kirsha is so hateful and spreading so much hate. But you can see the sort of mentality here. Person just posts an observation, completely neutral, gets bombarded with real hate. It's not Kirsha, it's not the fans, it's these other VTubers this person is so concerned about who are flinging hate at them for simply making the original post. And you can see one reply here that's going to lead us into the next situation. This was on the previous post saying, ew, this is one of the most despised VTubers in this space. She's a right-wing extremist and blatant racist who uses her platform to crap on immigrants and attack others who don't fall in line with her politics. First of all, incredibly ironic saying people are being attacked for not falling in line. That's exactly what happened to this VTuber, right? Just by posting Kirsha, they were snapped back into position forcibly. But also, you can see just more and more whining and labels of extremism and racism with no source. But don't worry, this individual, this Ayumi person, this she-it, is going to clarify with full proof that Kirsha is truly the evil person everyone claims.
She-it.
So they say this,
Okay.
Kirsha defenders, when they ask you for proof, she's a Nazi. Defender, she's not a Nazi, but her Nazi conspiracy theory is true, actually, and being a Trump fan doesn't make you a Nazi. Okay, Nazi. And you can see this interaction where basically they're just saying, if you're disputing my claim, you are a Nazi. It's a bold strategy, and we see this all the time, but of course, everyone I don't like is a Nazi is really just the Twitter and blue sky mentality. But this is really the logic that we're dealing with here. This person says, Ayumi is a Nazi. Proof? She's a Nazi. I say she's a Nazi. All the Nazi dog whistles only me and totally not Nazis can ever hear. You see? If you're regarded enough, everyone is a Nazi. Yeah, if you're going to claim someone as that label with no proof, just vibes.
Trust me,
I mean,
bro.
why not just do it back to them
I felt
until
the
they
vibes.
can prove otherwise?
No, because the truth is, people just use these. None of these words, we all know this. None of the words mean anything anymore. It's just used to, like, against someone you don't like. That's why people are able to call me a Nazi. And then I have other people, they call me a liberal feminist. As I've said, it's just like, okay. Nothing means anything. Anything. It means absolutely nothing.
Which, you know, proving a negative is a pretty
Other than I
tall
hate you.
task for anyone to do. But if they're going to fling that around, I mean, how are they going to disprove this? They like to operate on no proof, just vibes. So that's unfortunately
Operating
their
on
logic.
the vibes.
But then you can see some people disputing the claims where Ayumi says, correct, that's not the Great Replacement theory. This user says the only difference is thinking it's the Jews instead of the UN. She doesn't think the Jews are doing it, take your meds. And then Ayumi says, she literally does. And the other user says, she literally does not. And then the original poster says, she does. So
Okay.
it's literally like
I don't
covering
know.
your ears and just going, la 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 la, Kirsha bad, la 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 la. I won't hear.
Wow, Strawb really is like shoe on head. Oh yeah, I've heard that comparison a lot. I think that's a fair. Isn't also shoe on head? Is she Catholic? I think she is Catholic. But yeah, because of having like some conservative takes, just being a normal person, really, being a normal person in a lot of ways. Just to get you called every name in the book if you're normal, honestly.
Hear what you have to say. Literally, it's so childish and intellectually dishonest, but I mean, what do you expect from these individuals? And then the truth comes out, ladies and gentlemen. You can see this post saying, tell me you don't watch Kirsha's streams or content and just mindlessly regurgitate slanderous lies about someone you dislike because it gives you the good feels without telling us. And the Ayumi individual says, why would I ever watch a Kirsha stream? Oh. It's another person who's just like, yeah, I know a Nazi when I see one. I don't have to know anything about them or actually see their content. I just know it, okay? Trust me.
Yeah.
But of course, this individual has a little RDS too. The KDS, not enough. They have the Rev derangement syndrome as well.
Oh dear.
Where apparently they ended up in one of my recent videos. I think they were like a 30-second cameo at one point, and that prompted a tweet on the 18th saying, made it in another Rev video. Hi Rev, you're literally a bottom feeder, living off the scraps of the VTuber community's drama, grifting into right-wing reactionary slop because the content wasn't flowing as fast as you'd hoped. Your girlfriend is a hypocrite with skeletons in her closet.
Who is this girlfriend? I need to speak with her. That's my husband. Who's the girlfriend? Where? Show me. Excuse me, I am his wife. Thank you very much. And also, what does this have to do with me? Why do people always have to, like... First of all, yeah, always have to demote me. But also, like, why are they bringing me up? Why, what do I have to do with this? And what skeletons? I'm a hypocrite with skeletons in my closet.
Wow, they're really mad. Besides the seething right here at the top, there's a lot of funny things going on here. I mean, number one, they go after my girlfriend, which is really weird. If you're seething so much about me, you're going after the person I'm with. At least get the lore right. We've been married almost 3 years, okay? Like, put some respect on wife's name.
Put some
okay?
put some respect on my name. I'm his wife.
And also, this last part doesn't even make any sense. They say she's a hypocrite with skeletons in her closet.
Okay.
And someone asks, what kind of skeletons? And can't people become better and change? And then they say she has objectively become worse. How does someone have skeletons in their closet if they become worse? That doesn't even make any sense. Like, this is the level of logic we're dealing with here, ladies and gentlemen. But this user would ask, enlighten me how she is worse.
Tell me. I need to know.
No answer.
We were not
proof,
enlightened.
Just vibes, ladies and gentlemen, and, well, it's what you expect. But you know what? Something's very wrong when you realize the pinned tweet of their account is a clip where I was talking about one of their tweets defending Deme and crashing out, labeling everyone who is criticizing Deme as every ist and phobe they could think of. And I can think of nothing more pathetic than literally branding your...
Yeah, they probably liked my ASMR and they're mad that it's gone. Many such cases, by the way. I'm pretty sure Nyara also used to be a fan.
Your accounts with me while claiming how irrelevant and awful I am. Like, clearly I take up enough headspace in your mind to make you want to clip when I talk about you and then pin it to your account.
It's
like, literally
pinned.
a dunce cap for everyone to see. But they're not done. This, of course, was talking about them being in the video. And this person says, based. If you made Rev says dumbass upset, stay strong.
That's funny.
First of all, that insult doesn't even...
Rev says dumbass. Sorry, Lord, I shouldn't curse, but that's funny.
work. If I'm saying it, that means I'd be saying it to someone else. What are you talking about? I mean, nice try. But in the replies, they would link the video clip again. You know, of course, totally irrelevant. But like, hey, stranger on the internet, look at the thing. I was in the video. Look at this. I was in this totally irrelevant person's video. Please look. It's so hypocritical. But of course, their derangement knows no bounds, ladies and gentlemen. In a completely irrelevant discussion, they call someone a random rev simp, and that their opinion is completely irrelevant, and they're only a few months away from becoming a devout Christian, okay, and filling their hard drive with military wear inspo.
Oh.
This user's reply is really all you can say. What? What are you even talking about? First of all, what do I have to do with anything in this conversation?
I haven't streamed in a while. I guess I missed streaming a little bit. It's been 3 hours. My phone's dead, so my model will not move. I was gonna end stream after this video anyways, so that's okay.
Second of all, if these are the consequences here of, I guess, following my content, what are we even talking about? And then, overall, what are we even talking about? This whole thing is very strange, a very strange fan fiction. And then I found one more here, talking about some situation, I have no idea, and I'll explain why, I don't know, in a second. But they say, along with the post tagging Dragon's Tea and Hero Hey and Rev and other various content creators they want to grift through they can have their likes on Twitter. I'll have my videos, and I definitely take my side 100 times out of 100. But for now, that's going to do it for this video. If you enjoyed, please consider giving the video a like, consider subscribing and turning on notifications for daily uploads, as well as multiple streams live every week here on YouTube. But overall, hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time.
And I'll see you next time. Good video, Rev. This is where we're at right now. My phone is dead. This is what you get. This is what you get, chat. Thanks for coming out and hanging out with me. I had a nice time. I hope you did too. I've missed you guys a bunch. And yeah, I actually missed your streams. I don't watch streams beside yours and Revs. I like your takes and Revs. Thank you. I'll try to be back sooner than later so that we can do this again. This was nice. It was a good time. Thank you for having a good day with me. And Rev will be live in like 30 minutes if you want. I'll be like sitting in on his stream. So if you want to hang out more, you can go check out his stream. Let's see, does he have a waiting room up yet? Let's see. He does! He do! Oh. He's probably gonna... I hope he doesn't piss me off. Excuse my French. So, you know, sometimes I disagree with my own husband on things. Believe it or not, I know that's a crazy concept. Although I will say this, I say that because everyone's been saying that... Everyone's been making fun of the girl in the new Avatar series, like how she looks. And don't get me wrong, I think that the series looks bad. But everyone's like calling her fat and it's making me really mad. And I'm like, if I see someone in his chat say that, I'm gonna get upset. Everyone better be nice. She's not even. She's pretty. I'm so over it. But anyways, I'm tired of people being mean. I'm tired of the internet. This is why I don't go. This is why I left the internet. But anyways, I love you guys, and I will see you later and talk to you later. Yeah. Okay, oh, let me put, did I put his, yeah, I put this thing in the chat. Okay. Okay. Bye, guys. Yeah, remember to ask Rev who the girlfriend is? Yeah, we'll have to ask him. Chat, actually, you guys should ask him. Ask him who his girlfriend is. Be like, fill up his chat. Fill up his waiting room chat and be like, we heard you have a girlfriend. Who's this girlfriend? Strawb's gonna go crazy. Okay. Bye. Bye-bye. I'm just kidding. He is the best. He's so loyal. Love this man. Okay, bye guys.